And somebody that murders somebody else is insane. I'm glad that's God intervening in the drop. You saying that means that all I was
Hell no. I'm going back in. That's just their top goal. That's not God. Colonel Brickkeeper says, do cis heterosexual women have to disclose their fillers? Do cis heterosexual women have to disclose their fillers?
Like the fillers.
Yeah, like if she got lip fillers, a BBL. What if she got a BBL? She have to type that.
Or you just become a freak.
He's screaming, right?
What's up, sis?
What's up, baby?
of course you say that.
That was shady. That was shady. Okay.
Well,
But Britt,
being shady. I'm just saying, like, because I was just asking somebody's thing on the thing.
Okay, so here's a point. If you purchase a car, right, and you expect that car to come brand new, and that car comes like 1990 car, will you?
We are we vehicles, sis? Like
No,
what's
it's an
really good?
analogy. Answer the
I think
question.
it's interesting. I just want to say I think it's interesting that I can't express my opinion without me automatically defending everything that he said. Like I literally came up here and I said I agree with you guys, not here trying to say that I'm defending him. Like, how is me saying that a person that unalives somebody else is unhinged and insane? How is that defending them? What are you talking about? I can't imagine she thought she was intelligent coming up here.
whatever you're rubbing your phone on, you need to stop. We cannot hear you.
I was
who
anything.
Anyhow, yeah. Anyhow, I mean, let's move on from that. I mean, because look, that's somebody that was expressing their opinion, and to be honest with you, like, I may not feel like as strongly as that individual felt, but I mean, I low key did kind of get that vibe a little bit, like, but like, you're entitled to express your opinion. That's why you're
You got the vibe that I was defending him.
a little bit
No,
like. I mean, I
fine.
did. I mean,
I mean,
that's
I did too, but not
yeah.
to that, not to an extreme degree. I think that you also have your opinion within itself, but what it comes off as, that's the thing, is like when you enter a room and don't read it before you start talking, that's what to get other people. And that's the thing, is like this specific conversation, it's nuanced. I don't think that you really get how deep this goes for people that you are not like. Like,
Not only that, but real quick, I just want to throw in there. We want to open these conversations. We want people that normally wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Because of their transphobia, they normally wouldn't. You want them to kind of like get educated, see different point of views. So, but at the same time, as cis man or woman, you also have to understand where they're coming from because they wake up and they have to like literally either live in fear or be so cautious on an everyday basis or sensitive. So where you'll hear them in emotion, it's not personal. You know what I mean? Like it's personal, but it's not necessarily, let's say, towards you. You know what I mean? Like it's touchy.
Well,
And I understand.
hold on, Britt, real quick, and I also want to let Ray go since she's just came up on the panel, but I also want to say like low key to like I mean, look, listen, when I mentioned giving top to somebody and not like disclosing, like your reaction was, why would you do that to somebody? So like your reaction was like very much like as if I as if doing that, right? Mind you, this is like I'm talking about mindless hookup, right? This is like a real quick, like this is like let's do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like why is the onus on me to disclose to him instead of saying, hey, look, I know what you're about to do. So maybe like I just have to know, like, is this what you are? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
No, and I'm actually really interested in what is it that she would be doing in this hypothetical situation. Like, what do you mean by that? Why would you do that to someone? Do what exactly?
Give him good,
So,
give him some good ass head. You know?
I mean, I get that part, but you know what I'm saying.
so for example, I'm open to dating a guy that's bisexual, but most women that I know are not open to doing that, and I think they have a right not to.
Okay,
Right?
but that's not answering my question.
And so I mean, they're taking that person's consent away. I
How?
already,
In a
I already agree
mindless
with you.
hookup, in
I
a
already agree with
random
you.
I'm
one-off
talking about fucking though,
mindless
like I'm
hookup.
talking
Brett,
about like
Brett, wait a sec. Can I just say this one thing to Brett? You really disappointed the fuck out of me because you were literally saying earlier that you weren't caping for misogyny and the patriarchy, but that answer literally is. And
What answer?
when you stated specifically that you're taking their consent away and you're making them bisexual, you can't make an individual bisexual just by having relations
No,
with them.
that's not what she said.
What I
That's not what
That's
she
not what
said at
That's
all.
the implication. That's the implication when you said specifically that some
No, that's
women
not.
wouldn't be into.
Don't worry, I'll say
I
exactly what I mean, and that's
I
not what I
didn't
was
get
saying.
that. That's not what I was getting, but my point was that she wasn't actually answering my question. The hypothetical scenario was a one-off mindless hookup where somebody just got head. And her response to that was, why would you do that to them? So I want to know what the that is in her question.
I'm not talking about what you said
I
previously.
think that a person has a right.
Hey, let's
a
let
right.
let's let Ray clear up what she was trying to say real quick, if that's okay. Can we
I'm
let
not
her
talking
finish?
about her previous response. I'm talking about her explanation. She said that some women would be down for bisexual guys. What does bisexual have to do with it if they're having a mindless hookup?
Right. So, like, does a bisexual man have to disclose that he's bisexual, have a mindless hookup with a cishet woman?
Actually, now that you guys say that, I encourage people not even to have mindless hookup. So you're right. So if you go and you have a mindless hookup, you're subjecting yourself to a situation where you could be having sex with anybody. So you guys are right. I'll give you that. I don't encourage mindless hookups, and I don't engage in that.
Nobody asked.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm letting you know. I'm answering the question.
I
Well,
mean,
is every
no,
hookup that you have
but I,
conscious? Is
no, no,
every
no, but
hookup that you have
Yes, I do not have
aware
mindless
conscious?
hookups. I don't have
but
one night stands.
I respect,
Whoa.
I respect that. I respect that from her. I'm not gonna lie, y'all.
Whoa,
Like, you know, it is what it is. I mean, like, I respect her autonomy when it comes to that. Like, it's like it is what it is. Like, you know,
Whatever.
but
I'm gonna have a
but
mindless
I
hookup
mean,
tonight just because
but
she said that.
but me personally though, I love mindless hookups. Like, them shits are good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I
you know,
mean,
like, you having a couple drinks, you know what I'm saying? You get a little tips, you know what I'm saying? And you know, this I see a cute guy and he's like, damn, like he finding that I'm looking at his, you know, at the print and I'm just like, damn, can I get a little piece of that? And he says, yeah, go ahead. You know.
I
Anyhow,
hear you, but for me, it just felt like, by transphobia, get purity culture for free. Like nobody cares about how you feel about hookups.
I know, but look, listen, look,
You talking
you
about
know,
me?
I mean, no, but I respect her. Like, listen, and this is me personally. I can't speak for everybody else, but like for me, it's like if she discourages like mindless hookups from anybody, then and she basically said, you know, if you get what you get from a mindless hookup, like she's basically conceding to the point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that you're not owed disclosure. If you just having a random hookup with somebody that's not owed to you.
I got a real quick question. Does this come from like your standpoint, or does this come from like something that you believe, like faith or like Christianity or something?
Yeah, I am a Christian actually.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm. And when I was younger, I used to date girls or whatever. Long story, I'm not gonna put like all my personal business out there, but I no longer date girls. But that's part of the reason why I'm open to dating a guy that was bisexual, although most women won't. They
Was
won't.
or is?
Yeah, because we
When I
can't.
was younger, I dated bisexual men, but as of right now, no, I would not. date a
No,
bisexual.
I think the question was like you said somebody that was bisexual. In other words, that like someone can no, like if somebody is bisexual, that they can no longer be bisexual afterwards. Like you're still attracted to women, right?
No, I don't. I'm not attracted to women.
So why did you date women if you were never attracted to women?
I mean, I really don't want to say, but I used to, yeah, I used to date women.
So
So
like you're basically saying like if y'all met at conversion camp, you would be down.
At conversion, I don't think I was converted. I just choose not to date women anymore.
I'm up, lady.
Exactly what I was.
I'm up. Okay, well you know it's at 10:30 is when I get into work.
Comment
stop
want to
dating
know,
women?
Britt, if you would date a trans
It's
man.
Tuesday, right?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't date a trans person.
Question: Would you did you stop dating women because you got deep into your faith?
Yeah, pretty much.
Love you. See you.
Did
Then
you know that the word homosexuality wasn't in the Bible before 1946?
Wait, so you wouldn't date a trans man?
No, I wouldn't
Yeah,
date.
What if he was
she
well
said no.
what if he was really hot?
No, I wouldn't date a trans man.
So you do know that gender doesn't equal sex, right? Like so because gender like race is a social construct, hence why you can change your gender. Can't change your sex because that's biology. And I know when we have that conversation, a lot of people don't understand that. But yes, like the reason why cis and trans exists is because they're descriptors. And it's also because it's to distinguish between people when they are receiving care from their physicians or when they go to the doctors. So when they tell you that when you identify as trans, you receive different care than what a cisgender person would receive. So when we have these conversations, with trans men are men. Right, like how they identify, how they perceive themselves, how they view themselves, how they present in society. Trans men are men, like how trans women are women. Right. The only reason why we put certain descriptors is again to identify how people may maneuver or operate in society. So again,
Question.
just to remind you, trans men are indeed men. So
I consider if you want, because I listened to like some commentary because I really didn't understand. I'm not trans, so I didn't really understand what was happening. So I understand that you guys differentiate between sex and gender. So yeah, I believe a trans woman is a woman and a trans man is a man. I'll give it to you. But because of like the whole you were biologically a certain sex, I would choose not to date you. And I'm not saying that because I'm like phobic, but you guys can call me whatever the F you want. I don't
it's a little bit inherent transphobia with that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because you want to go go ahead, my bad.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying it is phobic. It's okay to say. I mean, that's the thing is like people think that when we talk about phobia or anything to do with it's okay to admit that you're wrong. It's okay to admit that you're not for the progression of our culture, our people, or the human race, regardless. If that's how you really feel, then that's fine. But just say so. That's all.
I didn't feel
But how
like
is
it was,
To
but
to
yeah.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Arch literally said they
how
have to
can
get their
anyone
listeners
explain how
before they
is
start reading
trans
bitches. That's
Okay,
crazy.
I'm sorry. Can we let Ray and then Javon go, please?
Yes.
I was just gonna really said it before they. That's crazy. Love it.
Sponsors like coming in and out. I'm sorry.
What were you saying, Boo?
You cool.
Oh, I was. I don't know if it's me echoing or somebody else.
Can you unmute for Ray? Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
I was just saying that Arch really had to get their lips moist before they started reading bitches. That's crazy. Love that.
Go ahead, Javon.
I'll answer your question, Kev. So because Britt said that she wouldn't date a trans man due to how they biologically identify due to their sex, the reason is because she still believes that they are women, even though she did say trans men are men. right? When you go in as a cisgender man, I can't identify with a trans man by way of how they transition. However, they are still men at the end of the day and how they present in society. So because she doesn't want to date trans men because of how they used to identify in society, right? So like for instance, Zaya Wade, right, who transitioned from being boy to girl, right? And how that process went for her. And similar to all transgender women and for trans men who exist, they still present into society how you, myself, Ark, and other people who are male presenting operate in society, right? Can y'all block this soup person? Because they've been saying some really problematic shit since the beginning of the live and they pissing me off. I'm not a mod, so I can't block them. Apologies. But yes, we for Brit, she has to sit with herself and unpack that, right? I'm glad that she identifies with the fact that, you know, trans men are men and trans women are women. However, because she still does not want to date them or be with them romantically, there is some inherent transphobia within that. And as long as she's able to identify that and kind of unpack that and break that down, because we all are inherently transphobic, even if you are a trans person, because of the society that we grew up in. We are all inherently transphobic because of the certain systems that oppress trans people and how they operate in society. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. That was very well put. In my opinion, to respond to what you said, I feel like choice when it comes to the matter of who you date, it's like it that's just your reasoning, and reasoning can translate to phobia. Because for me, if I couldn't date a trans woman because I know biologically she can't give me an heir. That sounds wild. A child.
Wow.
That sounds wild. My bad.
I want to say to you,
Man's
like,
air, like he got
Okay, yeah, all right.
no, I like I said
Yeah.
again, we're gonna unpack that, right? So
Okay.
you are a black man, correct?
Yes. I when people say, "Are you black?" I usually just say I'm Caribbean, even though I'm a black.
I know, I get that. I know that we like, because I, as somebody who's Puerto Rican, I get that. But you know, you as you are presenting in society, you are a black man. So when we have these conversations, right? Me, I don't I don't have no problems dating and or being with a black trans woman, because I'm not looking to be with somebody, whether or not having kids is that option, or even if we decide to adopt, right? My focus is not having kids, is just spending time with somebody for the rest of my life. That's pretty much what, you know, I think anybody would want if they are looking to be in a relationship, right? Like I get that some people want kids, but again, to your viewpoint, and you're saying that she may not be able to provide you children, right? There are many other
provide children. That'll be a completely different story. If that was possible, I would feel like it would be less of an issue between people. I feel like people would be more okay with it.
Right. So
All right, if I don't stop, I'm just gonna go 100% OCD on these. Okay, bye.
你给我穿一个吧，我给你穿好，我一会儿。
The power of the people. I'm sure you've heard.
And democracy.
But the declaration, the
Declaration.
The Declaration of Independence is not law. It's just a fuck you letter to the King of England. It's not actual law. It
decision saying Self versus Ray says all laws, statute, codes, and regulations are for government use only.
What?
Self versus Ray. All laws, regulations, codes are only for government use only.
I'll check this out. Hang on.
Okay. What do you think about this, DACA?
You just popped in. What's the conversation?
We're talking about people thinking it's all right to overthrow the government because of the Declaration of Independence, which was a fuck you letter to King England.
Yeah, that's not how that works. We have the Constitution now, so
Yeah.
I mean that's a overreach, isn't that? I mean, I
major.
think.
It amazes me. It's just, I heard this in a Republican live the other night, and they booted me because they wouldn't. I pulled this up and showed it to them. I said, "This is a code in the United States. It's US 18. It's a code. It's the law. Basically, it's a law that says you can't do this. You're not even supposed to advocate for it. If you advocate it, you can actually be locked up for it. So I don't."
I agree with you, Eddie. I've been hearing a lot of this fever dreams from them. I don't know why they have this dream of having overthrow the government. I mean, they can do it peacefully. I mean, that's called election.
Boy, to apologize.
And probably if you like leading.
Crown Act was created.
Everybody's looking.
In the morning, right? This one.
Guess what? They change governments in every hour, every minute, every year, every month. I mean, it's a go.
Less than men.
Literally a
So,
domestic
I do-
keyword and what he did. And wow. He's just gross. So cringe.
And to think this quote unquote tough guy literally was bitching and moaning because they wouldn't give him a special meal in jail. That was funny.
Could you imagine? I don't know if MTG, if she's married or not. I really don't know a lot about her, like
Yes.
personal life. But I was like, could you imagine if them two got together?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh
Well, I
my
know she was married at one point, but I'm pretty sure she cheated on her husband with her CrossFit instructor.
What?
I'm pretty sure. Because I remember, I think it was last year, the year before, like they were finalizing a divorce. And I'm like, Christian values. And apparently she has kids too, which is really cringe. Oh, and MTG, freaking Bobert made a family Christmas photo with her and her 4 boys with AR-15s in front of the Christmas tree.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, it's her and her 4 boys. There's no male figure because, well, you know. Yeah.
Oh, Hansy Bobert.
Oh, Hansy Pansy Bobert.
You know, I mean, I don't come after anyone, but I mean, if Beetlejuice music is her kink, I mean, that's is what it is.
I can't, because they're supposed to do another Beetlejuice movie with the original cast coming out in 2024. The memes are gonna be fucking hilarious. I can just see it now.
I just hear the dun
Bobo's first date with her new boyfriend.
Like,
They
honey, I
did
know
it to
what turns you
themselves,
on.
by
Next thing you know, you just start hearing the Beetlejuice music.
Yeah.
So
I
funny.
actually got to give the Republican Party props because apparently one of the chairmen in the Republican Party in Florida is being called for resignation because he's a freaking rapist and a sexual assaulter. So I was actually really surprised. So I'll give him that, but that's about the only credit I'll give him for now.
I haven't heard about that one yet.
Yeah, I sent it to Bean and she goes, I know, I'm shocked too.
Louis
The
says
lowest
Tim
of the
Burton's-
bars coming out of Florida, right?
Louis says, and Tim Burton's new girlfriend, Monica Bellucci, will be Beetlejuice's wife. Louis!
Well, hello. I'm really excited about Beetlejuice, but I'm also excited about the new Civil War movie where Nick Oberman, or whatever his name is from Parks and Rec, is going to be the president.
I mean, how much of a joke do they have to make it where apparently California and Texas are going to come together? I mean, it'll be fun because it'll mock the shit out of the Republicans, but, you know,
I looked online for the longest time to see if the political affiliation for his president is known, and I can't find out. I don't know if they'll actually even reveal it, because sometimes they just keep that vague.
Yeah.
It's some movies are so different because some you don't even have to go watch because they give you too much in the trailer. But I'm excited for the new Beetlejuice movie. I loved that movie as a kid. I'm super excited. I just hope that
it's actually good they're bringing back the original cast, which I was very surprised that they did.
Yeah, I think the only two that are not gonna be on it is the guy who played Otho, because I think he passed away. And I'm not sure if the dad will be there because he's like a rapist.
I love seeing Robert De Niro.
Like if there was like a celebrity match, I think Robert De Niro could take him.
I love it, but especially that one where it was like an award show or something, and he just went on a fucking tangent. It was awesome.
I know Meryl Streep doesn't like Trump either. I mean, I don't know. I just hope that next year we get our game faces on.
Definitely depends on
When you get angry in 3 days.
but they changed to phenotypically male after.
That's not that, but phenotypically, that's not really a rooster then.
Adam straight bum.
You're ruined. This is guys. Tell you just quickly. I'll tell you.
Eagles will be different than what.
Oh yeah, he did that to me too. He did that to me too. You never so know. Now it's being talked about.
Stop coming. Diddy has been a weirdo though. He's been.
Wait,
a
hold
weirdo.
on. I got a question. I got a question. Who on here watched the Boondocks? Okay, when y'all watched that R. Kelly episode,
It just switches. Yeah, it's
perceived to be he's the.
They proved he was.
Let me ask you this question again. Do you know? Fun fact. True statement. Do you know? It's a true statement. You can look it up. And he lost miserably because the Democratic Party seen right through his BS. And honestly, me being so close to New York, I've heard of him all my life, and I'm 47, sir.
Yeah, I used to live in New York.
And how do you not know this information?
Because it's not
Everybody
really
in New York was like, nope.
He's not a racist. I don't think he's ever been a racist. And
Okay. What state do you currently live in now?
I'm in California, LA.
Okay, so all the way, another blue state. Wow, a lot of California people here today. So you live in a strong blue state in LA. That's funny because that's where a few of my friends live.
So why were you talking to the other guy about the port of entry? Trump doesn't say anything about that. Actually, he says that's
he
good.
does. He says a lot about it. Remember
said
in
this.
2016, I'll tell you, I'll prove it. I'll prove it right here. In 2016, his number one slogan that got you guys cheering for him was, I'm going to build a wall better than ever, right? And I'm making Mexico pay for it. Mexico president comes up and says, hell no, this guy's on something. I ain't paying for shit. That's what he said. And as Trump took presidency, did he make Mexico pay for the wall? Yes or no?
Well, no, that's not going to happen. But
right, it didn't happen. But you know, it did actually happen, but not under Trump. It actually happened under Biden. Thank you, President Biden.
Do you know why it's good to build a wall?
If it was up to me, there wouldn't be one.
I think it's good to build a wall because it lets people know that, you know, you don't get what you want by just doing something illegal.
So when the early settlers that came here, that actually stole the land from other people, maybe they should build a wall. You know, when Christopher Columbus came, right? But anyway, you mentioned the border. So I did make a trip. I seen the border myself. I seen how peaceful everything was. I actually talked to National Guard and Border Patrol, and it's funny because I talked to Border Patrol and I told them about how everyone thinks what's going on there. He actually, I thought he was going to like chuckle. No, he actually got upset. He's like, that's not true at all, because he busts his hump to make sure that everyone's protected and everybody that votes with that red hat believes what Donald Trump, because he says, honest to God, this was recorded by Donald Trump a few days ago, that they're coming in to poison our blood.
Well, I think that one of the reasons why it's so peaceful right now is because, Biden is just letting them all flood in illegally.
No, sir, it's not legally. They have a right to be here because they work here. I've talked to them.
You don't have the right to be in another country.
You're in LA. When was the last time you took the time out to go visit the borders in California?
I don't go to the borders.
Of course. But yeah, you love to talk about it.
Telling me that they have a right to be here because they work here?
Yes, sir. People who live in Mexico travel into the U.S. legally. They work here and then go back home. Did you not know that?
If they come in legally. Yeah. Yes. If they come into the border entry.
Sure. They have dual citizenship. They literally have a work permit. They can literally live in Mexico because, let's just say, if someone that lives in Mexico comes here to work, right, and earns, say, $300 a week, right? That $300 is like $3,000 in Mexico. He's living large. He's like, bro, I would never live here. I was like, I don't blame you.
Okay, let me tell your audience so you know what actually happens. They come in here illegally.
That's exactly what happens. They don't look. You're not going to spread lies, gang. I'm going to tell you one time and one time only. You're not going to come here and spread lies. I was physically there. You said that you were never there, so let's not get it twisted. Once again, TikTok. This is for educational purposes only, and he's about to break your community guidelines. So let's not lie here.
So you're telling me
I was there.
I
was there, sir. I was there. Well, not as many as you were thinking. I would say a few, and that's the conversation I actually had with Border Patrol. I actually had that conversation. He says, "Yeah, we'll get them." I was like, "I'm sure you do," because they know who I was when I went to the wall. I went to this massive wall they have a lock the size of my car, man. And when I got there, Border Patrol in like seconds came up to me and my pals, and they said, "Hey, why are you here?" My buddy, Road Rebel, who's an Army vet, by the way, said, "Hey, we're here just looking." He's like, "All right, take care." And he left just like that. Literally 10 seconds later, another one came up. He's like, "Hey, did you guys park 2 blocks down the road in a white car?" I was just like, "Yep." He's like, "Is that your white car?" And he pointed at me. I was like, "Yep." He's like, "All right, you guys have a good day." He knew who I was, where I was, what state I was. He knew my whole man. He knew everything of me. Okay? And luckily for me, I'm not a wanted man. I'm not a felon. I have yet to see the inside of a jail cell.
So the ones that are here illegally, the few, maybe one or two, as you say, the ones that are here illegally working.
Sir, people aren't here illegally, okay? They're not.
There's
Stop it.
nobody here illegally.
People who have their time, who are vetted and crossover, because we have a constitutional right to allow them in here. So we just can't tell them no.
I want to know
you're
about
thinking.
they don't pay any taxes, right?
They pay $600 million in what was it, $600 billion in taxes. I'm sorry, with a B, billion.
From what? Sales tax? They don't pay any federal taxes.
You know
No
what?
state taxes.
You're so worried about what's going on. Let's worry about the because right now there's no point of even talking to you about this because you're clearly out of your league when it comes down to what's going on in the southern border. Let's talk about the domestic problem we have here from the far right extremists. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
How is this
So,
relevant?
well, sure. Right now, my statement above, you have yet. It doesn't say about the southern border. We're talking about what's above my head, right?
Well, I think one of the reasons why they say that Trump is racist because of his comments about the border. So,
well, no, sir. It's more to it than that. Okay, let's not get it twisted and stop trying to pivot to get your way. We're talking about the statement above. Okay.
okay.
You haven't even yet to answer it. I mean, do you vote for Donald Trump? Do you vote at all?
Oh yeah, we're voting, and I don't know if you're for Biden, but he's going to lose.
Okay,
And
that's your feeling. That's your feeling. So
staying out.
hang on. So in 2016, sir, don't cut me off, man. I have 15 people waiting. I don't mind dropping you and getting someone else. Don't be rude. Don't be that guy. In 2016, you did vote for Donald Trump, yes?
Oh yeah.
All right, 2020?
Yep.
All right. So in 2024, you already said you're voting for Donald Trump. So that would be 3 consecutive times you voted for Donald Trump.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, you have no problems with these extremists voting for Donald Trump. And I can name them off, but I've already done so like a million times. You know who they are, and you vote side by side with them. So once again, my statement stands corrected. How are you not?
It's kind of nonsense because there's a lot of people who vote.
All right. So if I were to, quick question.
You're voting side by side with rapists because there's probably one rapist who voted along with you, bud. What do you think?
There's 32 count. Well, what is it? 28 counts of Donald Trump and none for Biden. So that's been proven, right? But anyway, let's just say.
Yeah, I think the chat.
Hold on,
wants
sir.
to kick
Sir,
you out.
don't. You're not steering the ship. All
Are
right,
you
I'm the
listening
captain.
to me, pal?
I'm the captain. No, I'm not going to listen to you. Or what? What are you going to do? See, you have no powers here, sir. You have zip here. Nothing whatsoever. You can't tell me to listen to you, pal. We're not pals. We're not friends. I'm sorry that you feel that way. And once again, TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. I care about the truth, sir. That's all I care about. The truth, right? So the truth is, well, here, let's do it this way. The question that I have, you ready?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad you see it my way. Are you fascist or anti-fascist?
I would be anti.
Okay. So then you would be Antifa.
Is that one of your gotcha questions?
No, sir. That's actually a good question. I have others if you want me to skip this one.
Yeah, I'm Antifa.
All right. That's great. So the next question would be,
you have a lot of nonsense talking points. You just told me.
Sorry.
You said if somebody votes the same as someone else who's a horrible person, then no, you're voting right alongside with them.
So I've done a poll with thousands of people entered, and they agree with what I just said for what you call nonsense. Because I will never, ever vote for Joe Biden if I knew what Donald Trump was doing and the shoe was in the other foot like Joe Biden. I would never vote for Joe Biden, ever.
Did you vote for Joe Biden?
Always and forever, I will vote for Joe Biden.
Voting for an 80-year-old man who has dementia. He doesn't even know what's going on.
Once again, TikTok, that is false information. You have not seen his medical records. You're spitting out the same rhetoric as Fox News, Newsmax, and so forth, Tucker Carlson, and everybody else on TikTok. And what you're not going to do is keep spreading lies, sir. So, gang, I appreciate you coming up here. I'm not going to let you say false information. It is a lie, sir, and you keep trying to overtalk me.
Handle the
And
truth.
no, sir, the truth is that you're a big phony. So, yeah, you can't come up here and say it. I looked at his medical record, everything about Joe Biden. Yeah, he has some, cholesterol problems. He has some high blood pressure issues. Yeah, but what he doesn't have is what you just claimed. Because you can't prove it to me. You can't show me a video from TikTok or from YouTube and say, hey, because you, sir, are no doctor. You're not licensed in medicine in no way, shape, or form. MD. That's a fact. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday for those. I appreciate the likes. If you can, just give me another minute pounding that screen. And thank you for sharing the live. We're up to almost 70. That's awesome. Thank you.
Wow, they're jealous of you.
Come on up, Daniel. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Morning, how are you? God, you're uneducated, man.
What the heck?
Lying on
No, I was saying.
I don't know. I was just trying to
you. Attention. Pay the fuck attention. Because the minute you have a certain eye for things and people, you can see people for who they are. You're sharp. You listen more than you speak.
I gotta drop
Father,
Of course.
who we because
To
it
destroy
actually
the
comes
law
down to money.
or the
It
past
actually comes
prophet
down to money.
that came to
Those
fulfill.
those
So
private
the law and the
those
commandments that
millionaires
Moses
like
was not something that he
I
was
forgot who
coming.
it was that was running the Republican Party last year and the Democratic
Sorry,
Party.
Joe.
They if you have enough money, you can pay. If you have enough money, you can pay your way to be on TV. So yeah,
David, that's a yes, right? Media can influence it.
absolutely. And then
Okay. Now, second part to the question. During the whole 6-7 years since the day Trump come down that escalator, the left, who he used to be a part of, done nothing but push false allegations, fabrications, hate, and division against this man. You don't think that interfered with the election at all?
I think he was being for his words. We talked things that he said, and then you guys forgave him. And said, that's just perfectly, or that's just talk, this, that, and the third. He's being held accountable. And remember that, as a president, when you run for president or any office, you're under scrutiny. So people are paying every last word that you say or everything that you did 20 years ago or 10 years ago. So it's
David,
man, why do you keep cutting me off?
David, because you're not making any sense. Okay, we started out with Russia. He was an asset to Russia. Now we're at, he overinflated his assets, whatever, right? They have proven nothing, dude, nothing. They have found nothing on him. It's always one thing to another, and you guys forget about the last thing they said. They have found nothing on Trump.
Well, hold
it's
on,
one
host,
thing after the other, and they never find shit. That's why we're sick of it.
Okay, host, one of the things he was saying was because of stuff that he had said and stuff like that he's being held accountable for.
I don't give a fuck about what
They said that he was racist, and yet he funded the historical black colleges. All the racism was proven wrong. That's not him being held accountable. That's people trying to make him look bad. Now, you want to talk about stuff, well, he said this and he said that. Biden was for segregation. He pretty much said his exact words was, it'd be a jungle. And yet you're backing this man. That doesn't make sense. Trump promotes you work for what you get. Where Biden promotes, when they work for it, we're going to give it to you. You're not making sense with trying to say that it's what he said he's being held accountable when he's being held accountable for stuff that's been proven as lies.
Being an asshole and a dickhead is not a disqualifier for being the president. Come on, guys. Jesus fucking Christ.
Let me say this. Let me say this, please. I'm older than all you all in this panel. And I remember when Mr. Biden, as they say, everything was segregation. My kids aren't going to this school. And I remember it all.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Please don't tell me that this man, through his life in a political ring, wasn't racist. I'm sick and tired of hearing the same thing all the time.
But they
Well, he
hold Trump.
changed.
They
Well,
hold
he
Trump to
changed.
that 20-year standard, right?
He didn't change, David. He didn't change. And to this day, I'll bet you tell me any of his grandkids or anybody else is going to a segregated school.
Not a Biden fan, and the dude wrote a bill that locked up most of the people in my community. After knowing,
but go on, top off.
After knowing
Yeah, that was Biden.
After knowing that, you know, the previous administration, which is Ronald Reagan and them, brought in cocaine into our cities and states, you know, to make money. But
actually, that was George Young.
Again, both parties are corrupt, good people. It has nothing to do with people parties or whatever, this, that, and the third. I asked y'all to read Lewis Powell's memo. At some point, you guys do. It's something that it's actual.
Yeah, give me about 3 more minutes.
Blueprint where they talked about how they plan to take control over you and I. You know, the common worker, the common person.
Okay, well, host, I want to thank you for letting me on here, host. I got to go. I got some stuff I got to get done. Merry Christmas, y'all. Get
Take
at
care,
me.
Joe.
Hey, thanks, Tony. David,
Merry Christmas,
I
bro.
know you're seeing the truth on the side. You just got to dig a little bit deeper, brother. But y'all, Merry Christmas, and I hope to catch y'all again.
Yes, sir. Take care now. David, I am not going to say in my lifetime that there hasn't been severe racism going on in this country. I would be a fool and a liar if I said otherwise. Okay? I'm not even going to debate that. Not even going to debate it. But I feel that in my lifetime, things have changed, but there's still, I guess, lingering bitterness within the Black community because of it.
All right, I'm going. Bye.
Why didn't the left and the Democrats just try it? Like, just try working hard for like a year. Just try getting a job and making it. Like, just try it without bitching, without complaining. Just go out and give, like,
the left don't work.
It does work.
I know. I said, what makes you think that the people on the left do not work?
No. I'm saying without the bitching and complaining. Because the first time that things get hard, what do? They run to social media. Oh my God, it's so hard. They have a defeatist attitude. They give up too damn easy. And then they bitch and complain about everything instead of just accepting that this is the way things are right now, but I can make it better for myself.
Sort of a ridiculous argument. Like, Jesus, where's your background for that anyway? Like, everybody bitches about their jobs.
Oh, okay. My background on that. Well, when I was 17, I joined the Army. I got out of the Army as a disabled veteran. I went back to work because I had a family that I had to provide for. And then I decided I wanted to own my own business. So I started from fucking nothing. And now I sell sports cards with pictures of other dudes on them and their little autograph. And I own a sports cards company that provides for my family way more than I actually fucking need.
Great. So
because I decided I wanted something different. That's it.
That's good. Their work career as well. Like, what's your point? Everybody goes out and works for a living. That's kind of a generalization.
Okay, take your piercings
maybe
out,
you know
cover up
one
your tattoos,
person.
change your hair color, shave, quit complaining, quit bitching, accept what you have, and make it work for you. Try it.
So what's your point?
Try it.
Like so. Listen, like you
But
realize
you're not
eight
thinking about it right
out of
now.
the 10 most government-dependent states are red states.
You're bitching about it right now.
No, Florida actually has a surplus despite our hurricanes. So look it up. But I just wanted to.
I have looked it up before. Why don't you right now go and Google which states are the most government dependent? And 8 out of the top 10.
Why
and
don't
I'm
you
not-
go look
I'm-
up
I'm not-
PQ?
and
Look
I'm
up
not
what
saying-
cities in those states get
Hold
the
on.
most welfare. I
We're
guarantee
talking
you'll find
about
out the
the
blue
states
cities
and-
in those
we're
red
ta-
states will
Hey,
get
listen,
more
I
welfare.
didn't interrupt
bro.
you. Why are you all
I don't
interrupting
give a
me?
fuck
You're not
because I
gonna
can
let
interrupt
people
you
talk.
anytime I want
If you're
to,
not
bro.
going to let people talk on here and have their own time, then there's no point in having.
If you're not going to spread the correct information and actually do your fucking research and find out that the blue cities and the red states draw the most welfare, then you don't have any fucking reason to come up here and voice your opinion, bro. Be
Hey,
real.
all you have
Don't
to
be
do is
fake.
go and Google it. It's pretty simple, but apparently you can't do any research.
Go and
yourself,
Google
like
it,
most
bro.
Republicans.
PT ban him.
Go and
PT
Google.
ban him.
I have
Understand
Googled
where you're
it.
coming
Florida
from.
has a
What I would
surplus,
suggest,
but what do
if
you
you want,
Oh,
if you want to
go
get
ahead.
your information out, you have to
Hold
slow your,
on.
you have to slow your cadence.
That's
We're
David.
just trying to talk.
I'm sorry, hon. I was trying to finish up before that other guy interrupted, but did you know that they're changing the name of Bidenomics because they know it's not working and they're so ashamed of it?
What's not
It's
working
actually
about
working
Bidenomics?
against them. So just go look it up. They're changing the name of Bidenomics now. The department, the White House does not want to use that verbiage anymore. It's not working. Have you been to the gas station? Have you been to the grocery store? People
Yeah, the
are
gas prices are going down. Inflation is at a halt. We've got 14 million new jobs.
They're
Go-
going down
oh,
a
are you
little
going to keep
from very
interrupting me constantly?
Well, you did me too, so paybacks.
Not to mention PT. Look up what party.
The host keeps letting Republicans
No, that's me. Look up what party draws the most food stamps. I think you'll be surprised to learn that the Democrats draw more food stamps.
I did actually Google it, and I think you got it backwards, bud. The federal government is the most dependent on the red states, not the states dependent on the red. Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
I didn't get it wrong. The Reds, they're 8 out of the 10 most dependent on the government states are red states. That's why.
Why does Democrats draw the most food stamps, bro? They draw 60% of this country's food stamps.
And the federal government is 60% dependent on all of those red states, which means the red states are the ones funding those liberal counties.
The Democrats are getting, the red states are funding those.
Yep, that's what I Googled. So I don't know where he's getting his source, but whatever.
Brother, numbers don't lie.
If he's on pause to find something different, as always, I'll give you the big screen, or whoever will give you the big screen, and you can present it. But based on all of our research, red states are funding blue cities.
Why do you always have?
Hang on just 1 second. One quick second,
What?
Tony. Did you see the picture I put up earlier? About
I'm about to go
Tennessee.
look it up.
That's an article I just
The
fucking found
ESG
this
thing,
morning.
yeah.
The Tennessee's
It's
doing
an
BlackRock.
environmental blah blah.
I think it's hilarious too that when he asked me,
Literally raining.
I'll be right back.
when he asked me about my work history and what I thought made that work, and I told him about it, he completely changed the fucking subject, dude. That's just what they
talk, brother, before I interrupted him with a question to Maverick.
I don't understand. I mean, they have to just make everything bigger than what it really is. And I've looked it up, Trouble, and everybody else. And if you look at these states in their entirety, all right, don't say all the red states. It's the cities in the red states that are controlled by liberal politics and politicians. So it's all you're doing. You're not looking at the whole picture. You just see red states. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely I don't understand, Trouble. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't deal with it.
Some of it is debates are an opportunity to inform people so that they're not all Democrats sitting on food stamps. We can't just have a debate or what is 3 sentences, you're booted. I mean, there's a lot of people in the comments that don't know no better, and their entire bubble is Democrats. It's an opportunity to state your point, state your fact, and then let them decide.
Hey, can I say something, please?
So, yeah, and I wanted to respond back to you as long as I don't get fucking steamrolled and I can say something.
Well, I just asked if I could talk. You said a point. Now let someone else talk. I mean, like, are we sharing the mic time or what?
Yeah.
PT, you got to understand, brother, we are Republican Live, and you fucking liberals, you white liberals, aren't going to come in here and fucking run our shit, bro.
So why don't you just mute every other opposing opinion that comes in here? Then that's what's wrong.
State your fucking claim, bro. State your false information that you probably got from fucking
let somebody
MSNBC. Go
talk.
ahead.
I took a moment to go and research what we were talking about a minute ago about who's most dependent. So this is what I Googled. I searched on these words.
Did you do a depth dive in it, dude?
Are you going to keep interrupting me?
Did you do it city by city? Yes,
This is
because
what
if you didn't do your full research, you don't need to be sitting up here spewing your same bullshit.
Let me explain what I did without you
I'm gonna
interrupting
boot you
me
down in
every
the fucking
5
comments.
fucking
I know
seconds.
exactly what you did. What states are most welfare dependent?
No,
And you're
I
gonna come up
said,
with a
are
list of the
red or
states
blue
without the
states
cities
more
in them.
dependent on government? And the first answer that come up was a website called moneygeek.com. I didn't choose that. It's the very first one. And it says red states lead with federal dependence. Democratic leaning blue states tend to be wealthier and pay more to the federal government than they get. In contrast, Republican leaning red states tend to have less wealth and receive more
appropriate research. That's not the research you was told to do. Just verifying what the fucking bullshit you're up there spewing isn't doing your research. You need to look at what cities in them red states draw the most motherfucking welfare.
Did you mute him?
Yes, I did.
Yes, he fucking steamrolls everybody,
And
man.
David, you question me about it, bro, I'm going to boot you down. I'm not going to tolerate this fucking questioning moderators anymore. That's going to be something that's going to be a zero tolerance. If you question moderators on this platform anymore, you will be dropped down in the comment section. Period.
Questioned you, but
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
he just asked. I guess he was
You're
providing
not
information.
doing the research you was asked to do. You're doing the research that confirms what you fucking the bullshit that you spew. That wasn't the argument. The argument wasn't that red states don't draw more welfare. The argument was the blue states or the blue cities in them red states is the ones sucking all the fucking program dry. So do that research, bro. Come with the fucking actual research that we asked you to do, and don't make yourself look foolish. Because if you come up here making yourself look foolish, I guarantee you, 100%, I'm going to point that shit out.
You know, a lot of these states like Utah and all these big states have little cities. Like they don't have a lot of population. So when it comes down to that, I think you have to be, you have to get the totality of the numbers, not just pick and choose what it is that fits the narrative. And I'm
Right,
okay
David.
with whatever the case
Right.
may be.
And you're not going to do that research in 5 fucking minutes. You're not going to be able to do that amount of research sitting here on this platform. It's called, instead of fucking looking up all the left wing media bullshit, actually do some actual legitimate fucking research. Go in there, find out what red state draws the most welfare. Okay, go into that state, find and break it down by city, and fucking find out where the problem lies. I guarantee it, you'll find out that the problem lies in the Democrat cities in them fucking red states. Oh, Trouble's definitely fine. Trouble's just tired of dealing with these fucking liberals that don't want to fucking do their research and only want to go off what they hear on fucking TikTok. The same fucking talking points that probably fucking teabags on his chin or fucking Zeus or whatever's fucking going to. And that's probably where PT hangs out most of the time.
Can I speak now?
You'll be lucky if you're let to speak.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll do my best. There's a class of us that are totally just overlooked. And that's the class of, say I was 40 years old. I had to leave my job because of Parkinson's. And I've had 4 brain surgeries, blah, 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 blah.
You fucking kidding me right now, dude? You're going to really get up here and talk about your dog. This is a political debate, not a dog debate.
I'm not
Please
talking
stay on
about
politics.
a dog.
Please stay on politics or you'll be booted.
This is a politic.
A dog is not politics, bro.
What dog am I talking about?
You said you had a dog with Parkinson's.
Excuse me, I did not. Apparently you're not listening. You're too busy running your mouth to hear what I said. I am the one that has Parkinson's.
What the
Okay?
fuck does a dog have to do with Parkinson's in?
I never said anything about a dog. Unfortunately, wait a minute. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak as clear as you are because I've had brain surgeries and I have Parkinson's. But my point is...
Apologize for saying that you said something about a dog. That's the way I understood.
Well, okay, apology accepted.
So let's move on.
Yeah, let's do it. However, I left work. I lost everything I owned, my life. However, I didn't qualify for SSI, which is something the state pays for.
And okay, people that have never worked a day in their life, they receive SSI, of course, state pays for it. Their medical is completely paid for. They don't pay a dime. Here, all I get is Medicare. They pay 80%. I'm left to the other 20%. Can you imagine what it would cost me or what they were asking me to pay before I had my brain surgeries at, say, $900,000? $187,000, and they wanted that prepaid. Oh, what am I going to do? And when it comes to food stamps or whatever you guys want to call it, I make too much money. I'm on Social Security disability. I get $1,500 a month, and they're going to give me $20 for groceries? That's all I get. So,
That's just the government. That's just how they are.
right, exactly. And the president's government, and, you know, which one is going to do the best for me? That's what I look for, and I don't hear any of that.
What state do you live in, ma'am?
I live in Washington State.
Well, it's a Democrat state, so it's a blue
Yeah,
state.
that's terrible. It's terrible. Both parties suck.
Yep.
Well, when it comes to that, yes.
Can I ask you a question, please? Isn't there any agencies other than the government or the state? I'm talking private charities that do help people like you. Do they have them readily in the state of Washington?
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. But again, you have to meet certain financial, criteria. And I could be off just by a word, and I get no help. No.
That's not right. No.
If you go to the doctor and you have a medical bill after your
It's not
insurance
right.
paid for it, I think that you can go to the hospital that you went to and you can apply for programs that do help pay for your medical bills, especially if you're lower income. You make $1,500 a month, you would definitely qualify for that program. I suggest if you have any outstanding medical bills that you reach out to your hospital first to find out what programs you would qualify for. That's just me coming from an old dumb redneck.
No, that's fine. No, really. I've tried that in certain going to certain agencies like the agency for elderly and disabled and what have you, and their outlets are just hardly nothing unless you are a certain level below the poverty line. And even then, it goes by your
Poverty line,
income.
Steve. Yeah, you're definitely below all that poverty line, all the income, everything. I think that the actual poverty is considered to be $2,500 or less a month. If you make anything less than $2,500 a month, $3,000 a month, then you are actually noted as being in poverty. I do believe based on the federal guidelines.
Yeah, well, definitely. I feel like I'm in poverty. I have nothing against poor people at all, because I'm there. What I do have a problem with is I live in government subsidized housing. Of course, that helps me because my rent's based on 30% of my income. But I have to live with the druggies, the drug dealers, the gangs, the drive-bys, what have you. And I have to live
Everybody,
among.
hey, move to a Republican area. You'll find out that those will be phased out a lot.
All right, so let's move on.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Democrat
But
area.
thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you.
Okay, Steve, you take care of yourself here.
That's
Sure. Thank you much. Bye.
Virginia sucks too. and that's one of the worst Republican area. West Virginia is horrible. So I can't say that it's a Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you really can't say one state out of fucking all the states that are fucking blue. One state makes all them other blue states or them other red states
Mississippi
bad. You know what I'm saying? Majority of your red states are they're for cracking down on crime, stuff like that. Your blue states are for defunding the police.
Mississippi allowed Brett Favre to steal millions of dollars.
Brother, Illinois actually has a no cash bail policy. If you do not get out there and commit a violent crime against another person, they sign you an OR bond and you get out of jail. They're not even holding these motherfuckers anymore. That's Illinois.
They had to do that because people were taking advantage of people, man, and locking them up forever, not getting any goddamn, any court.
Hey, David, have you ever been to jail, bro?
What do you mean jail? Have I been arrested?
Have you ever been to jail? Yeah, have you been arrested? Have you been to jail?
I'm a black man in America. I'm 52.
Have you been to have you been locked up in the system for more than 24 hours?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a white man in America, and I've been arrested 17 times.
Hang on, Steve. Hang on. So you have been locked up in jail. Can you tell me the time that you was locked up in jail, if you could pinpoint fucking 2 people out of that whole fucking population you was locked up with that didn't do anything? I guarantee you, every one of them's going to say that they didn't do nothing. But I've been in jail several fucking times, bro. Several times. I did 90 days for a public intoxication charge. And I can guarantee you right now, the people that I was locked up with, every fucking one of them needed to be there, except for maybe one.
What's that got to do with what we talking about, buddy?
Well, they tend to make excuses for criminals. They have these long criminal paths, and then they get locked up and they get the hammer thrown at them. Now all of a sudden, they're victims of the justice system. It's not called victims of the justice system. I understand it happens, and it probably happens more than it should, but it doesn't happen more than It doesn't happen more that makes it a real fucking major fucking problem. Yes. One innocent person locked up is too fucking many, but it's not it's not a problem like you make it seem to be, bro. It's that these people go out there and they get big old fucking long rap sheet, fucking both my arms put together, and then these people finally get the hammer thrown at them, and that's injustice. That's injustice.
No, it's not even about injustice, bro. It's about the time limit of the crime. That's what it is.
Hey, bro, look at David. Look at George Floyd. He was a career criminal, and they made a fucking monument for the dude.
It's all about look. It's all about the time of the crime. It's all about how much time you get for that particular crime. Certain people get certain time deductions on their time. Let's be honest. Certain racial groups get more time from the crime than others. It's not about
Okay. Did you not just hear what I said, David? I got locked up 90 fucking days for a public intoxication charge, bro. I've never been given a break in the criminal justice system. Never. I've always been held accountable. I've done house arrest. I've done work release. I've done fucking prison time, bro. I've done all of this, maxed out on every fucking charge that I've committed. So what are you telling me, that they're treating me like a black man?
I got a question. They ain't treat, because a black man would have probably got like 8 months for
you're fucking out of your bro. I got maxed out for every fucking crime. Do you not understand what the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Hey, what are you, man? Are you Republican or Democrat, man? I want to know your affiliation.
I'm the boss. That's what I am.
No,
you can call
not.
me the boss.
No, you're not. I want to know your affiliation, man. What's your affiliation? What's your political affiliation?
My affiliation is American.
Nah, you got to pick one, buddy.
American.
No, it's not. You got to pick one. What are you? What type
of... I don't have to pick shit, bro.
Wait a minute.
I'm American.
Wait a minute. Why? That's the problem with America today. Is people saying you have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. You have to pick the red cult. You have to pick the blue cult. No, how about you just pick being a fucking American?
I go what's best for the American people, and what's best for the American people is not today. It's not what we've been doing for the last fucking 10 years. It's not what we've been doing since Barack Obama. That's not what's best for the American people. Obviously, look at the fucking state of our country. Ever since Barack Obama came into office, our country has been in a steady decline. Now we're down a fucking rabbit hole we can't crawl ourselves out of. And the only person, in my opinion, that could fucking bring us out of this rabbit hole with any fucking chance of success is fucking Donald Trump. And if y'all don't fucking see that, then y'all ain't awake long enough, because you guys still represent these fucking career politicians that have done nothing, absolutely nothing for the American people. Look at Joe Biden. He's been in office for how long? Fucking 4 damn decades, and he's never done anything for the American people.
You said something in regards to the people that were I was in prison with, not prison, but jail with, because I ain't stayed long. It was just a little minor traffic situation. So you said that they have a pattern. I work in for a long time, man. I work with ex-offenders. You know, I used to help people that came home from prison get jobs and things of that nature. So I'm familiar with recidivism. I'm familiar with behaviors and things of that nature. So when you said that, I mean, that was true. You know, those people, a lot of those people have, you know, patterns of history of being in trouble. But when I brought that same thing up about your boy Donald Trump, you said that was BS, my friend. Like it's like you play a double standard or the 50 for whatever reason, as if whatever this dude has done, he can piss in the air and it's a golden shower. Come on, man.
No. Hey, let me just tell you what my problem is with all this with Donald Trump is because they knowingly and intentionally targeted that man to pick apart his life, to figure out if they could find anything on him to make him look worse of a person than they've already fucking made him out to be, bro. The fucking American people should not be targeted of fucking useless investigations and just investigations because, hey, we don't like you. So we're going to investigate your whole entire life. There has to be, to me, dude, if they're going to investigate you for a crime, they need to fucking know about that crime or have some knowledge about that crime before they start investigating you. Don't go investigate somebody just because you can and just because you want to pick their whole fucking life apart and try to make them look like less of a civilian than they actually are. And that's exactly what the Democratic Party's doing to Donald Trump, bro. And it's the exact same thing that the justice system has done to your people for hundreds of fucking years. And I cannot believe that as a black man, you're going to sit up here and you're going to tell me that you don't see this, my guy.
He took a meeting with the Russians and lied about it. So when all that thing came up with him and Russiagate and all that stuff, that was because of that. You got to remember that he started a lot of that BS that came out about him, all of the scrutiny and things of that nature. There was some validity of it. I think some of it was some BS, but in the same context, man, he stepped out there, he applied to be the president. Nobody knocked on his door and said, "Oh, please come to be." So he understood what was at stake, you know, and he didn't care. You know, just like he said he didn't care about the taxes thing, all these different things. He disrespected John McCain and stuff like that. He said so many things. You asked about earlier, like why the media, you know, put him in such a bad light. He said so many disgusting things that people who have, you know, morals and scruples and people who really think about America, you know, we're completely against this guy. And then what actual policies did he?
Let me ask you this, sir. Let me ask you this. Did you vote for Biden and Harris? David, did you vote for Biden and Harris? Did you vote for Biden and Harris?
Unfortunately, I'm a Bernie Sanders fan. So when I realized that, you know, again, they treated my man like that, I had to vote for him. And this, you guys don't realize that 40% of Americans don't vote because of such a dire strait of what we were headed towards with Donald Trump. Those people came out to vote. That's why we had so many people voting last and we'll have it again if he's won.
You know that we have a vice president that's in office right now that while she was a prosecutor would give black men extra extended sentences. And not only black men, but majority of black men, give them extended extra sentences so they could do free work for the city.
David, you do realize the reason why mass people come out and voted for Joe Biden is because Joe Biden offered to pay their fucking bills. Whenever Joe Biden come out and offered to pay the fucking and did the student loan forgiveness, which was deemed unconstitutional, that's why people come out and voted for Joe Biden. Whenever Joe Biden said he was going to do all this for the black community, that's why they come out and voted for Joe Biden. And then in turn, Joe Biden didn't do a fucking thing for the black community, and he fucking barely did anything for the student loan forgiveness. So his whole campaign was a fucking lie. That's why they come out and voted for that motherfucker.
And also Trouble, to touch on what Trouble said, you know, about the witch hunt on Donald Trump, to extend on that, you know, it's funny how a lot of Americans have short-term memory. Nancy Pelosi, during the impeachment inquiry, or whenever she impeached Donald Trump, she said, we've been working on this for 2.5 years. So whenever you go back to that date, her words, not mine, 2.5 years, that would have put it back in December of 2019. And what happened there? That's whenever he officially became running for the presidency of the United States of America. So do you not understand that they've been after this man ever since they found out that he had a chance to win?
unfortunately, that's the game plan for the DNC is to smear your opponent. So that's just what happens in politics, and I'm not really for
No, that's not really smearing. That's good. Smearing is hey, this guy's a racist or this guy's this and that. But going after this guy legally and trying to put him in prison and this, that, and the third, that right there is not smearing. That is election interference. The same thing the Democrats cry about.
No, that's holding him accountable for his actions, man. What he did, in regards to.
So were you there?
This thing was ridiculous, man, and I don't know why you guys not accountable for that.
You said insight.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. The people that raided the people that went into the Capitol and stormed the Capitol and did all that with the so-called insurrection that you had, were they going to do that the day of, no matter what Donald Trump said? Do you think they had that planned out before?
I think that was, planned out. Yeah, once they found out that the Stop the Steal rally was this, that, and the third, and I guess Trump asked them to come down there. I wasn't there. I don't know all these things, but from my understanding, a lot of that stuff came out in court. And they said that Trump was the reason why they were down there. He told us to come down.
No, they did not say that. They said that we thought he would save us.
Save us from what are you talking about?
So can I elaborate, David? Have you seen any of the videos where the guards were just letting the people in?
Yeah, I saw that.
How's that an insurrection when they were let in?
I saw that, but it doesn't stop the things where I saw the videos of that man getting crushed by a freaking door, and other guys being stomped and hit with all types of different.
Did Trump not tell them to go down there peacefully?
He did not say that. No, he did not.
I believe he did.
No, he did not say that. He said we're going to go down there. We're going to take back. He said, matter of fact, you can't be nice. You can't take nothing nice. You got to take back your.
He did say peace.
All right, and he knew that these people had.
Go do your research and look at his speech on that day on Jan 6th.
Okay.
He did say go down there peacefully.
And do what? They couldn't stop anything that was going on.
He sure wasn't. He sure didn't tell him, David, to do what some of those people did. Okay, I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna anybody that judges or targets somebody because all his followers, and some of them I don't believe were his followers to start with, would go down there and go in the Capitol and do as you all said he did. They did. That is not that man's responsibility. I hear, well, he could have stopped him. He could have did this. No, he couldn't have, because it was just an outright group that decided out of all the good people that were down there that had the right to peacefully protest. You had a group that decided to hell with that, and we're just going to go in there and do what we want to do. Okay.
So when Trump waited 3 hours to shut it down, and when he said shut it down, everybody shut it down. Why didn't he do that 3 hours earlier?
And those people
to go down there, and the Secret Service told him not to. Donald Trump was going to go down there and tell everybody to stop, and the Secret Service told him not to.
That's correct.
So what's wrong with the video at 3 hours later? He could have done the same video 3 hours earlier and shut it down. He chose not to.
I see. Yeah. Well,
what happened to all those peaceful people that were down there?
Agree
Why they ain't
with you,
stop
so
those
that's
people?
it.
Why are those peaceful people that you just
Why are we doing double standard, though? Why can't those people roam around the Capitol? Because remember, whenever the Capitol hearings happened, and those people stormed into the Capitol during the, whenever they stormed the Capitol, and Nancy Pelosi said, well, this is the people's house. They can come in here anytime they want. So where's that same energy at?
They weren't jumping on the walls and breaking the windows and doing all these different things and threatening.
David, I want to get off the subject for a minute because this is bothering me. All right, and I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and I'm going to go back to something you said. All right. Number one, I'm a disabled Vietnam veteran. I served. John McCain served, and there's two things I want to say, and it's just the way it is. No matter how you agree with John McCain's politics, which I think were horrible, I still respect him as a veteran, no matter what, that was tortured. And you all put yourselves in that man's place and what he went through. Sometimes the pain and the aggravation and the mental abuse is too much. And sometimes we're not perfect. God's perfect. And if he said anything, I'm not going to hold him accountable. That's just the way it is. And that's my personal opinion. I respect all veterans. I respect all veterans.
Hold on.
Okay.
Mods, please do not let anyone else in the box unless it's trouble or sass. Thanks.
Okay. I respect all veterans, no matter who they are, whether they agree with me or not, whether they like me or not. I still respect them for their service. And I'm talking all wars and conflicts. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. And no, I didn't agree with John McCain's politics. So I wanted that to come straight out of my mouth because I'm an old man and I served, and you were over there. Things weren't exactly peaches and pie. That's it. That's all I got to say.
And in regards to his politics, that makes sense. But he disrespected that man's, service, and that was too much for me.
Hey there, I'm new in the box. I'd like to just chime in here if I could. I want to go back to the insurrection and the fact that we saw
You can't go to an insurrection because there never was an insurrection.
Sir, I'm going to continue my comment, please, if I could, uninterrupted. So we had these people, and some of you said some of them were peaceful. But that whole exercise demonstrates Trump's political career. Everyone starts out peaceful, and he ratchets up the rhetoric. He ratchets up the fear.
Can't come in here spreading misinformation. Goodbye.
Yeah, and it's fake news.
Exactly. Yeah, just like the Democrats who said, just like the Democrats who said that. Just like the Democrats who said, hey, protests are not supposed to make you feel comfortable. They're supposed to make you feel uneasy. Hey, no rest in the streets. Let's burn it down. Like that? You talking about that?
Nope, you can't come. You can come in and disagree, but you can't come in spreading misinformation. This is not the MSDNC. Okay?
Yeah, that's not misinformation.
I'm savage as fuck. And my friend is back, so... Yeah, there's that.
Well, what's that? Well, let me ask you this. You guys keep calling it insurrection. Name one person that was charged with insurrection. I'll wait.
Still in the courts.
No, it's not still in the courts. Not one person that's being charged with insurrection.
Hey, for everybody who thinks it wasn't an insurrection, have you ever watched videos outside of your news source?
Oh my God, trouble. Whenever trouble or sass drop, their boxes need to stay open. Unless they tell me they're out.
What the fuck
Period.
about liver?
Gotcha.
Well,
Jared,
you're in and out, in and out. It's different.
You're a shit face, so shut up.
This is the lamest fucking live ever.
Well, then see ya.
And go away. The lamest live ever, yet I'm sitting in it, you dumb fuck.
Why do these motherfuckers think that we care if we ask them to be here? We don't fucking ask you to be here.
Like no other.
Well, for the person that said that.
Hold on.
Sing again. That was good.
The reason
That was good.
the reason that Real Patriot was dropped and Trucker Dude was dropped, I want to answer their questions, is because Trouble dropped without telling me. There's always a box for Trouble. Sass will come in and drop whoever she deems. So let's move on.
All of them had air gold.
So the person that said that they didn't hear from Trump for 3.5 hours, that's actually a false statement. It was actually proven on a town hall here recently that he did, where he brought out his tweets. Now people are going, well, why couldn't he come on TV and say anything? Who the hell at January 6th was watching TV? Anybody?
He was. I know nobody watched the TV. He was.
So therefore, it was put out on Twitter, which is now X, and it was also put out on True Social. So yes, he did
Well,
at 2:30 in the afternoon during that day.
Trucker dude. What people don't understand is the people that were there in the Capitol whenever they first breached the Capitol, and even let's say an hour or two into it, motherfuckers ain't paying attention to their tweets anyway and all that other shit. You know, they're paying attention to recording on their phones. They'd have their video cameras up and they'd be recording. If you look around at the people that did have their phones out, they was all recording. They wasn't sitting there going through their apps and shit like that. So they wouldn't have known. I mean, I don't know one person in their right minds that'd go out and commit a crime and be paying attention to Twitter.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because if you do have notifications popped on, even if you're recording, you would still see a notification that Donald Trump had posted.
No, you would not. No, you would not.
What happened? It's not what happened. The phones were drained. The phones were drained.
Didn't they have the backpacks with
Hey, you got
the
stopped.
scramblers?
They said, "Hey, Donald Trump said stop, so we got to leave." That's what happened, right?
No.
The black spotted.
It's not. See that? I was there. It's not what happened.
I'd like you to leave that up, Maverick. I wish you would leave that up, because Americans have the right to protest. Okay, I didn't see other than the group of everybody is targeting in the Capitol. I didn't see the rest of those people out there.
Phones were drained.
There were a lot that did what other people were charged with, which was bullshit. Those people.
Yep, I was at the memorial.
Right, those people were peaceful. So don't hand me this bullshit that all these people charged the Capitol. I want somebody to prove to me that all these people went into that building, because everybody calls it an insurrection. What the hell? Are you serious? If they wanted to take that Capitol over, excuse me, they could have.
Any of you patriots who were down
See a
there?
question, David. David, are you against police brutality?
Completely. Did any of you patriots try to stop them?
So is it okay? Is it okay
You're
if
not
a police
listening,
department let me ask you this, David. Is it okay if a crowd who is just standing around talking, is it okay for police departments to fire tear gas and things into the crowd and hit people with it?
That's what your president did against
David.
Black
You're
Lives
not
Matter.
listening.
Oh, that's what happened. That's what happened on J6.
Black Lives Matter. And I'm not sure what you're talking about on January 6th, but I don't think that's what sparked it. But
Exactly. That's the Democrats' problem. They know everything about Trump, but whenever it comes to your own party, fuck it up. Oh, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, again, you.
We've been sitting here talking to David for quite some time. And he's still not fucking getting it. David, no offense, bro, but I don't think you'll ever get it, bro. I don't think you will ever understand.
I probably won't. I won't.
David,
Not at
do
all.
you
Did
understand that
anybody
there
see
were-
the video?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. David, do you understand that we were at the memorial? Do you know how many people were over there, and that it's 2 miles away from the Capitol?
No, I don't know where everybody was. I didn't. see
Okay,
it.
because they didn't tell you about all that, did they?
Right,
Oh, they
right.
didn't.
They didn't. I didn't see a lot of the things. Until there's still more
That's
stuff.
why I'm not in jail.
Yeah, there's still more stuff coming out. But again, I wanted to know, like, for those people who consider themselves patriots, did they try to stop those few people going?
I
that were
just
breaking
answered
glass?
your question.
So
I
you
just
said
answered your
because you were
question.
2 miles away?
Most of us were.
Okay. All right. So those people that were up there were peaceful protesters, didn't do
I
anything.
never
to stop
seen them. I never went past the cones. So I
All
don't
right.
know.
So how is it that you can defend what they were doing and saying that they weren't being,
Because they were let in.
Okay, but you weren't there.
Did you ever hear?
I've seen the video.
Okay.
Raps. Nobody's brought this man up. He's there. He's gone. He's like a shadow or a ghost, and the media and everything else. I haven't heard a word about him being indicted. So if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Tony, he got a misdemeanor charge.
Yeah, well, you did. Okay. You've not seen this man inciting people to go in there.
I think you're right about that, Tony. I think you're right about that.
Thank you, sir.
I think that a lot of that, FBI investigate or involvement, and a lot of the veterans and police officer involvement has been, has not been investigated properly. It should be dove in deeply to find out why, the FBI was a part of that, because I understand that they were, a part of making some of those violent things happen with, Black Lives Matter too. So it's history says that they've done it, and at some point, both parties, they will not deal with it, because you and I, they tend to let us argue about things that, that don't matter. So at some point we need to address that, man. That's facts. FBI was there. I heard that.
Well, like
anybody
somebody had said about Ray Epps. Yeah, Ray Epps was arrested and charged, but he got a misdemeanor count. John Sullivan, which is an Antifa member and a BLM activist, was also arrested and sentenced just maybe a week ago on 7 felony counts. So yes, people that are on the that we have heard about have been arrested and charged.
has anybody seen the video where it was interview thing with the chief of police of in DC, where he was talking about that it was not a insurrection, if that's what you can say, that them and the FBI and several defense agencies share the same information, and there was no terroristic or domestic situation.
Although it's on video, although everything was on video.
The Antifa dude was the guy who he's Ashley Babbitt getting shot. Right? That's the one.
John Sullivan, that's his name.
Wow.
You guys need to hit the likes. That is the comments, please. Pretty
Or,
please. Pretty please.
or have you seen the video where it shows several people that were in different incidents, like Sandy Hook and other at the J6 incident? Coincidental.
People from
Let me
Sandy
ask you a
Hook
question,
were
David.
at
David, let me
January
ask you a
6th.
question. Black Lives Matters does a lot of good things. The local people do. But would you say that there are Would you say that there's agitators that come in and disrupt things?
If you get a chance to watch Democracy Now, man, they did a piece on the alphabet book.
I'm asking you a question, yes or no. Do you say that agitators come in and disrupt things?
Yeah, I think it's been proven that the FBI has done that.
So why is it that agitators can come in and make Black Lives Matters look bad, but whenever agitators come in and make Trump supporters look bad, it's a fucking it's a conspiracy?
Well, the people that got arrested, actually, those were Trump supporters. Those people that actually are serving time. I understand what you're saying, and I support it. I don't think that. I think that that's something that the playbook the CIA used to use in other countries. So for them to do it against us, I think it's horrible. But again, yeah, those people that were arrested down there were Trump supporters, man. There's no denying that part right there. As far as the Black Lives Matter people, why they didn't get arrested, everybody didn't get arrested. Some of the things that happened here, I live in Baltimore, and we had a riot here, over the Freddie Gray situation, and I think you guys misunderstand, why people riot. And I didn't riot. I think that's stupid. I think we should protest with our money instead of breaking and burning. But people do what they understand or know what to do, or get frustrated and just don't, act out. These are things that, people do. I'm not agreeing with it. I think that the Freddie Gray and the other people that have been unalived by the police, people are upset that, man, we go to fucking work just like you do. We pay taxes just like you do. We want to be treated just like you do. We can live on one street and see people being kneeled on, and on the next street up in the Jewish area or a white area that, they may or may not even get pulled out of the car for the same type of, crime. So we want that type of situation. And I don't think that, comparing these two, I really don't think that people should be, busting up anything, get anything done. That's not going to happen. They don't care about that.
So
We,
you're one of the Democratic, or not Democratic, but left leaning people that will actually condemn the Summer of Love. Then
I condemn any violence, and I don't think it's a summer of love. I think again it is people acting out. Again, I'm not going to. I don't think, but I think we are missing the point. When we had the whole opportunity to kneel, and protest, people were upset about that. I feel like America doesn't want black any kind of say, and you have to remember that for a long time, the only people that had your ear was our entertainers.
He's right.
And our athletes.
He's right.
That was it. So in order for us to get this message out, these were coming from the athletes and the entertainers. So it's hard for us to even come up with a way of this, getting the information out. Just the reason I keep saying that everybody is about both parties being corrupt, because I want us to come together. I think that we have similar likes and dislikes. We have a lot of things that we won't agree to, but I think more for the most part, nobody wants to harm each other. And if we can get to that part,
So you think that Colin Kaepernick had the best interest for the black community?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, you do? You do?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So whenever he was asked, hey, talking about, hey, let's go out and make change, and then he was asked, hey, who did you vote for? He said, oh, I didn't go out and vote.
So what?
Yeah, well, let's see here. If you want to make a change, you go out and vote. But let's put it to you this way. Colin Kaepernick did one thing and one thing only. He saw how to capitalize on this, and he went out and made money off of it. He don't give a damn about the black community. Matter of fact, it took until the fucking media from all ends and finally... No, shut up and let me finish. Shut up.
That's exactly... No, don't tell me to shut up.
Well, don't interrupt me, asshole. So anyways, what I was trying to say was it was proven because he was supposed to donate some money, and until both the left and the right started going after him on the media about not donating yet, that's whenever he fucking went out and donated. But let me tell you this, Colin Kaepernick, the same man who called every NFL owner slave owners, was just begging for a fucking job to be a quarterback on a practice squad about 2 months ago for the New York Jets whenever fucking Aaron Rodgers went down.
Yes, sir.
Somebody who wants to make money talk about Donald Trump.
So wait a minute. If I think someone's a slave owner, I'm just going to go in and fucking just work for him? Okay.
There's no such thing as slave owners anymore, buddy.
Actually, there are.
Okay, well, buddy, that's what he called the NFL owners, buddy. I'm using his words, buddy.
Actually, there are slave owners still in North Africa.
I'm talking about here in America. You're talking about here in America, too.
But it wasn't just disrespect to the white people.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this guy's disrespecting.
Why
yeah, you guys keep making excuses about Donald Trump. This is the whole.
See. Here's the thing. I didn't interrupt you. You're not going to interrupt me. I've been very nice to you, and so therefore you can hear what I got to say. It's the time and place for everything. And when he was kneeling during the national anthem, he's disrespected every U.S. soldier that's ever fought for this country.
Yes, sir.
And, what did I tell you? So the reason.
Okay, Dad, go ahead. Go ahead, Dad.
You don't understand it. I have the power to do this, and you got one more time. Okay. So when we stand is to honor our troops. And he could have picked any time before or after, just been like, hey, I want to protest because of this reason.
Donald Trump has done nothing but disrespect the troops.
I warned you, dude. I warned you. So, when we stand, we honor the troops. And that was the whole big issue with it.
I didn't have a problem with him kneeling. I had a problem doing it while he was at work, because that's what football is to him. It's work.
I
That's
just
what I had the problem
I
with.
I had a problem with him kneeling during the national anthem. I don't care that he kneeled. I don't care that he protested. That's his given right. But when you take the kneeling, during the national anthem, it's like disrespecting every veteran that's ever fought, regardless. It could have been his family member or anybody. His grandpa could have fought in World War II or World War One, like mine. And that's just to me.
I think I
don't.
think I think that's a very important point. Um, the kneeling. I think the not standing for the national anthem is even deeper than that because it shows that it's more important that it's more important the color of your skin than it is to be an American, and that's a problem. The whole reason why we get along in this country is because we put our ideals and character before the color of our skin. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not actually American. And there's no way that you can actually be a productive member of society if you just keep putting your skin color in every single situation.
Thanks,
I'm asking
Josh.
this because I think the same thing that we just said in regards to disrespecting the veterans. I said earlier about John McCain. You guys blew through that like it was absolutely nothing. From my understanding, Colin Kaepernick took advice from a veteran because it was a sign of distress to take a kneel, and let people know that you are hurting. Again, I said that for umpteen years, we just first had the opportunity to vote. For 6 years, 60 years, we got a president, a black president. Understand this: we don't have a voice, unfortunately, other than our athletes and our entertainers. Unfortunately, but when it happens, when that athlete takes the step out there and says anything that's against the norm or against what the Republican and the Democrat, again, people, we have to understand there's a narrative being driven by two parties, not you and I. You and I go to work every day. You and I do things for each other and our families. You and I break bread with our communities and pick up trash and things of that nature. These people have a narrative that keep us arguing about things that have absolutely nothing to do with who you are and who I am as an American. So when it comes down to, marching and putting down any kind of riots and stuff, I disagree with that. I think we should be talking about lobbying and how we bring our money together to actually make changes. Because otherwise, we're going to keep complaining about Joe Biden stealing the election. We're going to keep complaining about Kamala Harris lying and doing these different things. And, on the other side, Lindsey
I
Graham
don't think
and all these other
it's not
people.
there's no problem with protesting. And to be honest with you, I don't even see a problem with the violence because I think there's a necessary need for both of these things at the correct time. We needed violence to separate ourselves from Britain. So both protesting and violence is a necessity. But for whatever reason, the black community, my community, is picking terrible idols. When Black Lives Matter started the protesting, they were protesting for George Floyd. Look, it was a terrible scene. I do believe that it was a murder. It was a murder. It was an execution style, okay? But this is not somebody you want to put in a statue. This is not somebody you want your kids to grow up and be like.
He was a flavor of the day, man. It wasn't just about George Floyd.
It wasn't about George.
You got to get that really confused, and it's disheartening, to hear people say things like that.
Confused.
He's not our idol, man. He wasn't an idol.
What am I
He
confused
was a
about?
victim. He was a victim, and was the latest victim, and people just got tired of it. That's it. Don't do that to that guy, man.
He was a victim of what?
A victim, my guy. He was definitely not a victim. He did wrong, and he didn't want to be held accountable for them actions. But did he deserve what he got? No. Was there other situations surrounding it? Yes.
Has anybody ever looked up his picture on the TDCJ website?
Look, we all know he was a bad man. We ain't saying he was a good man. Like like nobody's saying he's a good man. Nobody said that.
They made a memorial statue for George Floyd. This is not a character that you praise up for your children. I don't know the man personally, okay? But it's come public some of the things that this individual has done. And I don't want
Right, but you don't get to execute that man because of those things.
Of course not. And I said the execution was wrong.
Let me ask you this.
But that's the whole reason of everybody stepping up.
Dr. Damage.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Damage. Let me tell you what I observed. Hey, hang on, guys. Let me tell you what I observed, Dr. Damage. Okay. I observed officers being around and a big fucking major group of people, coming around them. Given the situation, regardless of skin color or anything, say that was a white man laying on the ground and I'm a police officer. If I have hey, won't you let me finish, bro, before you run your mouth? Okay. If I have 30 people, if I have 30 people gathering around me that there's a big potential for them to create harm to me, do you think I'm going to be paying attention to the person that I've currently got subdued on the ground? Or do you think I'm going to be paying attention to everybody that's gathering around me that could potentially be there to do me harm? Look at it this way. Okay, you have the police officers who've been active targets by a lot of people. So there's some sort of uneasiness whenever these police officers go out on the streets that there may be a chance that they're going to face violence that day. I'm not excusing what Derek Chauvin did. The courts convicted him, and it's up to the courts to fucking keep him there if they feel that they did him wrong. All I am saying is, regardless of skin color, I can understand that the concentration not being on the guy on the ground, but more of the crowd that's forming around you. And that's what a lot of people don't look at, man. Regardless of fucking skin color, that's the facts, man. And you can't tell me that if you are in the same situation, say you're in a big fight with somebody and you've got them on the ground and 30 of their fucking friends are gathering around you, that you're not going to fucking be uneasy like a motherfucker. Because I can tell you right now, if you say that you won't be, you're full of your own mind, because you absolutely will be. You've got to look at the picture of a whole, man.
Okay, I agree with you. I do. I do agree with you on that point. I could honestly say I do agree with you on that point. I've been in situations where I had to, look around and not. But my point is, right, he was on that man's neck for 7 minutes. Come on.
Can I elaborate on something, man? So
what came during that whole 7 minutes? What got worse during that 7 minutes? The crowd gathering around.
Right, but he could have stood up if he was worried about himself.
Hang on, the host was trying to talk, brother.
Would you be on your knees?
Dr. Damage, Dr. Damage. Let me just say this real quick. When the hosts don't engage with us much, so whenever you hear her, she's got to talk low because she's at work. Please let her talk, even if it interrupts you, because she can only talk at certain times, brother. Go ahead, Maverick.
So Trouble, after you, I think Real or Trucker is trying to say something.
yeah, I had something to say. So has anybody ever really like? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Has anybody ever really watched that situation? Because
Real Patriot, if you could, brother, if for just 1 second, man. We was, and I was asking Dr. Damage, given a situation, a scenario, and I would really like to hear the rest of his idea. Yeah, and I promise you, dude, you can go right after him. I won't even respond. You can go right after him. Dr. Damage, I am kind of curious of what your response would be to what I said, man.
Well, like I said, I agree with you 100%. Man needs to be on his game. He's got people surrounding. I get that, right? If you were that worried, would you not stand up and get your bearings? You're on this man's neck for 7 minutes. Plus, you've got backup, so you're not there alone, right? Would you not stand up? Would you not get your bearings? And if you were that worried about your safety, would you be on your knees?
I'll respond with this after we let a couple of the other guests go, man. Just to where everybody's got a fair chance, but I will definitely get back to that. I promise you, I got a really good answer for you. Go ahead, Real Patriot.
So, I'm sure that several of us have been arrested or has had dealings with the police before. So let me ask you this
never,
question.
not me.
When in your lifetime have you ever seen where you were taken to the back of a police vehicle and not taken to the back seat of a police vehicle? All right. Now, in that video, if you watch the entirety and you really like pay attention, did you ever see anybody get on their radio and call for backup or call for 911? All you saw was they put they take him to the back. A cameraman appears. They put their knee in his neck, and then all of a sudden, here comes the coroner. Doesn't even check to see if he's alive in an astronaut suit. Puts him in a van and drives away.
That's what happened.
Okay, can I respond to that? I'd like to respond to that.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
but hold on. I got one other thing.
Go
Have
ahead.
you taken the time to search George Floyd? He was in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Means he has.
Hey, we're not going to go through his criminal background. Everybody here on the panel has agreed that George Floyd was a criminal before all this happened.
No.
So let's
But
speak to the
Trouble,
things that matter.
I got a point. So he has a picture, is what I'm trying to say, a profile picture, and in that profile picture, that George Floyd has tattoos down his arm. Now, if you remember, after all this happened, his brother came on national TV, effed up, and said another name.
Whoa. I'm going to stop you there, real. That's one of the biggest fucking conspiracy theories that I've heard.
Yeah, you can't do that here, honey. I get what you're saying, but we all know that you're going to get. I'm protecting your account, so just.
Yeah, please don't.
They're going to start. Yeah, they're going to start mass reporting if you go any further with that.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so look, okay, let me clarify something, okay? I believe that George Floyd was done an injustice. The entire process was handled very unprofessionally. The law doesn't care about how you feel. The police officer did not conduct himself appropriately, and it led to somebody's death. That's not the point that I was making. I believe he was executed. Okay, that's perfectly fine to protest about that. What BLM did was not just a protest. They set up an idol. They did set up protests, but they also set up riots. They destroyed cities. Okay, the greatest, if you ask me, the greatest man to lead in protest for the Black community and did it the right way was Martin Luther King. This did not happen when Martin Luther King did his protest. He asked for nonviolent protest. Why? Because it shows the morality behind your cause and that you want nonviolence. You're not going to fix the violence with more violence.
It didn't work though, did it? Hasn't worked in over 60 years. It hasn't worked.
Wait, what didn't work?
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest didn't work. You really don't think laws have changed since Martin Luther King Jr. has
not like they should have. Not like they should have. It's been.
What else would you like to see change? Look, you're not going to change evil in the world. Okay, there's going to be evil Black people. There's going to be evil Black people. There's going to be evil white people. Okay,
True.
You're not okay. You can't legislate morality, but what laws would you like to see change that didn't get changed for the good?
I'd have to sit and think about it a little bit, but on the spot, I can't just off the top. But there's some things that you could think of right off. I'm sure.
Some things that I can think.
Let's be very clear about something. Let's be very clear about something, okay? The people in Minneapolis or wherever these riots happen, because let me tell you something. I, as a white man, marched down the street in Akron, Ohio, in protest of the Jalen Walker unaliving. It was very peaceful. And then agitators come in out of nowhere, and people are like, "Who are they?" It happens all the time. Let me tell you something. The people who are burning the cities down and breaking in and stealing, they don't give a damn about George Floyd. They don't give a damn about Jalen Walker. They just find a way to go in, loot, steal, and make money off of it.
Maybe some, sure.
Hold just a second. Fox, I'd like for you to unmute your mic and say something, please. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, problem solved. Go ahead, guys.
So, okay. So, hi, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Damage, what more
Yes.
do you want to see when this happened to George Floyd? Obviously, you did not watch the fall of Minneapolis, did you?
Oh, of course, I watch things burn. I'm not saying bad things didn't happen. And no, there was it right? No, was it necessary? Maybe. Just like when we
So,
took our country from uh England, it was a lot of shit happened. Was it necessary? Yeah, kind of was.
okay, so I'm asking, you don't think there should have been more violence
No,
when the
no,
protest happened?
no. I disagree with that. No, I don't believe more violence.
Well, okay, then elaborate on what you were saying, because what I caught from what you were saying was you wanted more things to happen. What more things did you want happen?
Really
Well,
caught that out.
in his defense, he didn't say that. The only thing he was talking about more to happen would have been during Martin Luther King's era. So you kind of got two things mixed in at the exact same time because
Mm-hmm.
he didn't say that.
Dr. Damage, would you like to go back to our conversation that we was having? I told you I had a very, very good answer for you. You
Yes,
said,
please.
why didn't Derek Chauvin stand up and gain his bearings? He had a suspect that was currently under arrest, subdued on the ground. He had, how many police officers was there? Was there 7 or 8 of them there?
Yeah, there was
Maybe
quite a few.
more.
Quite a few.
Okay. He doesn't need to gather his bearings. What he needs to do is trust that his partners, the people to the left and the right of him, no different than the military, are safe as he's got the situation under control on the ground. What he needs to do is make sure that those officers remain safe and that no damage comes to them. So whenever Derek Chauvin, whenever he was on the ground, no matter right or wrong, I mean, there's mixed emotions with everything. He's not really necessarily concerned for gathering his bearings and stuff like that, more so paying attention to the surroundings and paying attention to make sure no harms comes to his brothers and sisters. So that's, I mean, I don't know, have you served in the military, doctor?
No, sir.
Okay, so I haven't neither. So we don't necessarily know how policy or how those situations and how we would react would play out. And I think that you'll find that that if you ask veterans, hey, given the same situation, say you've got a key member on the ground and you've got them subdued, and there's 30 of them other ones around you, what are you going to be more concerned about? Are you going to be more concerned about keeping the original suspect on the ground? Or are you going to be more concerned about gathering your bearings and trying to figure out what's going on? Brother, the situation was resolved at that point. He was just making sure that the situation didn't escalate. I mean, and in my opinion, just to be clear, in my opinion, I think Derek Chauvin was convicted on a court of public opinion. I don't think he was convicted because he did wrong. He fucked up, yeah, but should he have got the time that he did? Probably not. He fucked up, man. I mean, given the situation, there could have been something different that happened with that. But the public opinion nowadays has become so strong. You don't need a jury of 12 to convict anymore. All you need is that jury of 12 to just turn on the news and formulate an opinion based on what they receive. You understand where I'm going with that, brother?
Sure, I do. But again, we go back to that whole 7-minute thing, and that's where I'm. They had plenty on his neck for 7 minutes. Now they had plenty of time before that to cuff the man, and they didn't. And they had 5 people there.
He was cuffed.
Then why wasn't he in the back of the car? Come on.
Because he was actively fighting for them and bleeding. He posed a big
pulled
danger
him out
to
of
the
the car and
police.
put him on the ground.
What danger George Floyd posed to the police is George Floyd was a known drug addict, right? Correct? No.
Sure.
Okay, so what I feel, in my opinion only, is I feel that the police were more concerned about getting contaminated by George Floyd's blood. If you go back and watch the video, that's whenever they removed him out of the vehicle and put him on the ground, is whenever they noticed the blood that was spilling out of George Floyd during his fight with the police. So again, I ask you, are you going to be more concerned with a known drug addict that could potentially carry STDs and fucking bloodborne illnesses and that is actively bleeding? Or are you going to be more concerned with policies and procedures? I'm sorry, I'm going to always be concerned with my health above and beyond any fucking thing else.
I mean, I don't know, man. I see it like especially you're saying they had the guy in the car already, right? Close the damn door. Let's go.
Well, hold on, wait. Did they? Now, if I can explain, he was handcuffed. He was put in the back of the car. At first, he was sitting like with your legs out of the car, and he was talking. He was already talking about how he couldn't breathe. They put him in the car, or attempted to put him in the car. He fought. An officer went to the other side of the car, according to body cam footage, and Floyd, what appeared to be like, pushed himself out on the other side of the car. They put him on the ground. They rolled him over. That's when Derek Chauvin put his knee across his trap, right? Which is what police officers do. Wasn't on his neck. It was on his trap, right? Now, during all the everything that happened elsewhere, could it have slipped and fall and to his neck? Yes. Not saying that. But the thing is, what everybody just completely just walks past is that his toxology report was released. His death certificate was released. He didn't die of asphyxiation. He died of 2 times of fentanyl that was within his system, according to the coroner's report.
They've already said that he didn't have enough fentanyl in the system to die. People do drugs.
Double the amount.
Listen. People do drugs all the time. Seriously, people do drugs all the time, right? I know people who do major drugs, and it looks like they might be overdosing, right? But they wake up the next morning just fine, bro. Like,
and again, that's what the toxology report said.
I know you're looking at me funny, miss, but I know a lot of fucking heroin addicts. Like, it is bad.
Question,
Go ahead.
Well, I was trying to ask Trucker Dude a question.
Well, let me say this real quick, Joshua, please. Go ahead. He had 2 times lethal doses of fentanyl alone. And the coroner said if he was by himself, he was going to be unalived. Period. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if you know anything about fentanyl. I do.
Sure do.
And that's a lot.
Do you know how much? Do you know how much a lethal dose of fentanyl is? Like, really? Like, you could touch it and die. Like, for real.
Yeah. So why would you?
But you do know that's a rumor. Like, you don't die from just touching it real quick. Like, it's not a thing. That's
no, I'm saying like there's like it's literally like that little bit.
I understand what you're saying.
Hold on, Josh. Josh was trying to say something and he got interrupted. Go ahead, Josh.
Thank you, bro.
I apologize.
No, you're fine. You ask Trucker Dude a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have some police background?
No, watch the video.
Oh, you just watched the video. Okay, so you mean
that and being arrested 9,000 fucking times.
Oh damn. Okay. Okay. Well, the way George Floyd was arrested, you're telling me that the way he put his knee on the neck and everything was procedure?
To hold down a suspect, yes. You can go back and look at the.
But to hold down a suspect.
You can go back and look at the videos that were there, and it all depends on angle on how you're looking at it. But yes, that was protocol, because as a person being arrested with 5 officers on me, because my ass is 6'3" and 275 pounds, yes, they have put their knee on my trap in order to control me.
I'm not negating.
I'm talking.
I'm not negating
personal experience.
Yeah, I'm not negating that might have happened to you. What I'm asking you is that legal procedure?
For minutes.
I don't believe
according
that
to the Minnesota
that
Police
was
Department,
legal
yes.
procedure.
Okay, guys. Hey, just real quick. We're only going to be on this topic for a couple more minutes. We've been on this topic for a while, and then I'd like to change the topic up a little bit just to kind of get off this topic. I feel that a lot has been said on it, and I feel like there ain't much more that can be said besides people just sharing their opinions. So just FYI, be expecting a topic change here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Can I just say something real quick? Whenever this stuff happened, I hate the term whenever people protest. I'm for protesting. I'm okay with it. But the term defund the police, whenever all that is said, and these protests, that takes away from true action on changing things in police departments. Because when you defund police departments, you not only take away programs for them, like, and things they need, but you also take away educational programs for these officers. You proper training. And then what happens whenever you defund these police officers? They are a shortage of police officers. So what do? They lower the standards to become a police officer. We need more education when it comes to this. I've always said this. I think you should have a mental evaluation before you become a police officer, and you should have 2 years minimum of criminal justice before you can become a police officer. You need to be educated, and you need to be mentally prepared, because you don't know what you're going to run into. Because nowadays the term, oh, that doesn't happen here, that's no longer here, because that shit happens everywhere. We need more education for these officers. So the term defunding police is a bad example on what should happen to keep police brutality from continuing on.
See, I don't look at defunding police, like, I don't look at that term in the same way. I look at it as taking, like, a lot of, like, we have a lot of police forces that have, like, military, like, budgets, and taking some of that money and sort of investing it into the police, but in a different way. So, having social workers go with, a squadron car to a domestic, to a situation where they could possibly diffuse a argument between a husband and his wife, or something going on with their kids, and you could have someone right there on the scene who's picking up cues from this child. Hey,
Gee, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Never is it a good idea to put a soldier with a police officer to diffuse situations. They're not trained in that manner, sweetheart. They are trained to neutralize threats by use of lethal force. So what you would be ultimately advocating for is more force being used as far as lethal force with these individuals, because soldiers are not trained like that, hun.
No, I didn't say soldier. Sorry, you must have misheard me. I said like social worker.
Social. Oh, I thought you said soldier.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I just didn't enunciate very well. I'm sorry. My bad. So just having, if you got a call about, like, child abuse, you would be able to have someone who was trained to see, signs and stuff like that of child abuse right there with you, when you go on a call, and that would cut down for, multiple times being called back to the same house before this person is identified as a child abuser. That sort of stuff. I see, when I think defund the police, I think kind of take funding away from, like, full on, like, artillery weaponry, and putting it towards, like, other logical solutions that can, save lives and, actually start to make things better and not just end crime.
You do realize that social workers, a lot of them have the same fucking issues that police do, just in a different manner. Social workers, I mean, look at the fucking injustice that's happened with social workers nowadays. For instance, CPS and shit like that. I mean, they're just as tyrannical as the police department is, as these bad cops and stuff like that. I mean, you have your issues in every fucking program in the United States of America without any real resolution to it, because until we as a society are able to change what's deep down in our hearts, this is not going to ever get any better. You could put all the social workers you want to with police, and it's not going to change the fact, because people have lost the ability to do their jobs, and do them effectively. Look at situations without bias. Say you got a man and a woman. The woman sitting there, has a history of violence and speaking out, shit like that. But yet you got a man and a woman. A lot of these social workers, in my opinion, are going to side with the woman, just because a lot of police officers side with the women as far as this goes. If you got a woman that says the man hit me and the man says that the woman hits me, not all the time will both people go to jail. A lot of the times the man will be going to jail.
Well, then those, in my opinion, are pretty crappy social workers and pretty crappy police officers. I think that you need to listen to both sides.
Gee, what you're advocating for is adding to the problem.
I think it's just humans. I think that's why. Like, how can you disagree with what Trucker Dude said? More education is better. Why would you
absolutely
spend money and try and put it's quality over quantity? You're asking for more quantity of people going to help. It's going to cause more problems. You want quality people, and education would help.
Yeah, but I don't feel like
they got to be educated in that field.
Because plus sometimes whenever you show up on a scene and there's more people and that person's already distraught, the more people that walk in that room, sometimes the more distraught they are because they're like, why is everybody surrounding me?
Right, but it doesn't need to be more people. It just needs to be more quality people. It needs to be people who are trained in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like, instead of adding people to the field, that's where I go back to, you need 2 years of criminal justice and multiple training all the time. And that's where I go into the fact of the word defund. Whenever you start taking money away from police departments, that's what happens.
Sure,
defund. Now, guys, let me just say this: if we paid our police more, it may be more of a desirable position to get more better police officers in the force. Our local police department, our county sheriff's department, starts people off at $15 an hour. What kind of people are you going to get for $15 an hour to come work with you? You're not going to get quality people to come work for you at $15 an hour. The state police, I think, starts at $18 an hour.
Boy, I agree and disagree with every single one of you right now, and it's kind of mind blowing for me because here's the thing. Even according to our own Supreme Court, the police has no reason or no obligation in order to protect and serve you, the American people. Right? They are there in order to collect monies for the corporation or for the cities, right? So the thing is, me personally, I would absolutely defund the police department and give that money to the sheriff's department for a person that we, the people, elect. Now, we also need to give the power to the sheriff's department in order to fire said cops and then where they'd be able to not go to a different city or state and be able to work as a law enforcement officer again because of their actions, which we don't have because we have unions, but just like we have, the teachers union, we have the police officers union, and that's where I personally would want to stand on this particular topic right here. I absolutely would defund the police force, which is somebody we don't vote for and has no obligation in order to protect and serve the public, you and me. I would absolutely give it to the sheriff's department.
Fair enough. I think that defund was a terrible word to use. That was just wrong to use to begin with. That it got their messaging all messed up. It should have been reallocate.
Yes, that's much better.
If they would reallocate, and not all the funds. Let's be realistic. Like Trucker was saying, they need their education. Absolutely, they need all that. I am 100% with that. However, do they need a tank? Do they need like armored personnel carriers? I don't think they do.
Agreed.
Our tank goes in the
Cities do.
every year. I think it's remember when the tank went rampant on the interstate? Do you remember that then?
Yeah, Dr. Damage, they need whatever artillery and whatever materials that they need in order to do their job in any given situation. Say you have a riot of fucking 150 to 200 people break out. They're fucking out there rioting and shit like that. If the police aren't equipped properly, they're not equipped to do their job and therefore prevent that violence from spreading in and hurting innocent civilians. So as far as tanks go and shit like that, man, I'm all for it. I think every police department should have it. Fuck, because you never know what the fuck's going to happen, especially in today's world.
Well, I mean,
That's just my
but that's the reason.
I think everybody should have one. I think everybody should have a tank. Hey, let's all go out and buy a tank, and we'll all have one, and then we'll all have a fair game.
Sure.
But going back to what we were talking about, even with George Floyd, we can go back to Michael Garner in New York that got choked out, right,
For a cigarette.
for selling a cigarette, right, because they didn't pay the taxes on the cigarette. What that does, that implements policy change. Even in Minnesota, with what happened to George Floyd, there's now a policy change, which is also why our officers now carry AR-15s because of a policy change because of what happened. And if people don't know, what happened is in California, I can't remember the city that was in, there were two bank robbers that had armor on, basically looked like fucking Iron Man. And they had AR-15s, and the police equipped with 9mm. The police actually had to go to a gun shop, get AR-15s in order to combat the two said people. So the thing is that implemented a policy change within the police department in order for them to carry AR-15s.
I'm with all that. Give them big guns. They Shit, give them big guns.
They didn't get the AR-15 platform for the police departments just to where they could harm people or whatever. See, the AR-15 platform, it's a lot lighter than a lot of your big, heavier artillery as far as your rifles and stuff like that. And I believe the reason why that they utilize the AR-15 platform in the police department is because it gives them more distance that they can put between them and a suspect or somebody that's out there to do harm. AR-15 platforms in the police department has saved how many fucking lives? None of us know.
Lots.
Well, see that's what I was saying. But it's because of that incident that happened in California is that why it all of a sudden became a nationwide thing. It wasn't there before. They carried a shotgun and a 9mm.
That's right.
That happened in what, 80?
And rarely body armor.
87, 88?
But they don't just.
And rarely did they have body armor.
Somebody in the cops need to stop drawing their weapons every time they come up to a vehicle. Cops do not draw their weapons whenever they come up to a vehicle. Cops draw their weapons whenever they perceive a threat. If you're digging around in your glove box, or you're digging around, or you're acting suspicious, won't follow simple commands, shit like that. If a cop gives you a command and you're not following it, and you're looking around in your vehicle or you're acting real suspicious, that cop is going to draw that weapon because they want, ultimately in the end, they've probably got a wife, kids, and everything else at home that they need to get home to. So yeah, if it comes down to me, say a police officer pulls me, a white guy, over that has business logos all over my vehicle, and I'm sitting here acting suspicious and not following their directions and stuff like that, they pull a gun out on me. You know whose problem that is? That's my problem, because I didn't follow simple commands and I wasn't following directions, and I myself was acting suspicious. So cops don't just pull their weapons out for no reason at all. There's always a reason behind it, and I would much rather a police officer pull their weapon out in preparation for that than see a police officer had the chance of somebody drawing a weapon and firing on that police officer before he can neutralize the threat. I don't think that's a big issue.
I think it's going to depend on situation to situation, though.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is the last time I was arrested, I had 7 police officers with their guns out, but they had a legitimate I'm going to say fear or scared that I was going to do something, is because I was in an 18-wheeler. And I could easily drove over their cars and through them. So naturally, they would want to defend themselves in that situation. So I think it's going to be depending on situation to situation,
right?
Whether
Now
they're going to draw or not.
Now, and to contrast to that situation, just about a month ago, I got pulled over at a stoplight. I didn't even know the cop was behind me. I was taking a right-hand turn and then turning into a gas station. These cops got out so hot, with their guns drawn, and what are you doing? You're running. You're trying to. There's 40 cars around me. How am I supposed to know you're pulling me over and I'm just pulling into a driveway? But you got your guns drawn on me? That's a little weird.
I mean, the thing is the political. I'm not going to say political environment, but the environment of we the people has gotten so hostile over the last 20 years that it's pathetic. And the reason why I say that is because we can go back to the 80s, get pulled over, and 9 times out of 10 you were being let off with a warning on whatever the fuck. And nowadays it's just fucking terrible, because back in the 80s we had guns in our cars. We had our rifles within the back seat of our truck. Me personally, I had my 30-06 and my shotgun back there. So yeah, but the environment that the United States has just gotten increasingly violent over the last 20, 30 years at the very least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One thing that we need to get back to, and I know there's a lot of bad cops, there's good cops, there's bad cops out there, but we need to get back to respecting our police departments, because, I'll tell you this, guys, nobody hates a bad cop more than a good cop, because good cops have to deal with that. But on the same token, our police department needs to go back to the old ways and getting out. Sorry about that. They need to get back to the old ways, and they need to get back out there and get to know their community and get to know the people in their community. You don't see that anymore. I follow this guy on Facebook named Officer Tommy Lawrence. Amazing officer. Every officer should go off of that man. If you've never seen Tommy Lawrence, go on Facebook. He does an amazing job with a bunch of special needs people, but he also is very active in his community and helps his community. We need to go back to that. But again, we also need to go back to respecting our police departments because again, nobody hates a bad cop more than a good cop.
I think no. Let me explain why. It has nothing to do, I mean, yeah, respect has its place, but the problem is it needs to be complete training. On top of that, there needs to be
What happened?
police officers. Right now, they've been training like that since they've been accepted into the academies. Draw the weapons first. Don't know how to use hand-to-hand combat. Has no understanding about the actual laws of the state or the local laws themselves. So the problem is that you and according to the Supreme Court, they don't have to know certain stuff. Police officers are not really there to protect the public. They're there to protect the mayor and the city council. That's what their job is for. Not actually. The sheriff department is what really protects the people. So that's where we have to change the narrative of that. And until we change those particular laws, not only in the local, but the state and also the federal lineup, we can talk all day about people trying to respect the police department, but the police department is not going to respect you. That's how that works.
You're full of shit.
How much you want to bet, sir?
Did you say we need to teach the officers hand-to-hand combat instead of drawing their weapons?
They need to teach them all kind of hand-to-hand combat as well as knowing how to use their weapons as a last resort.
They're always going to resort to that weapon, man, because let's face it, it's 2023, brother. The fucking population is sick, man. They're out there to do harm. You know, a lot of these people would fucking how many times do you think that police get guns drawn on them every month, every year? I mean, you got to understand, dude. We're in a dangerous civilization now, where people have ill will in their hearts, and you're wanting a police officer to resort to hand combat instead of utilizing something that's a precautionary measure to say, you know, if somebody's going to be violent with a police officer and to where a police officer is going to resort to hand combat, you don't think that person won't also be violent enough in order to take that officer's life? I mean,
okay, so hold on. So let me ask you a question. I'm sitting in my car. Now you talking to a black man.
I don't care what color you are.
Hold on. Shut up, Alvin. I'm just going for the straightforward. I'm going straight for the gusto here. The police officer pulls me over. I'm minding my business. I ain't saying nothing. He tells me I ran the light. Okay. In order for me to make sure that I don't get shot, and he's you know, him and his partner might go in there. I feel uncomfortable. I tell him, look, I need your partner to go back to the car because I don't feel comfortable him looking in my car and outside. I have to roll down my windows to make sure that he feels comfortable. If I did something wrong, there was a time where I got pulled over. I had 4 police cars on me and weapons drawn. I hadn't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything. I was like, what was going on? They said I didn't stop completely at the light. You got 4 cop cars on me and the light coming up on me, and you got guns on me? For what?
They're not going to draw their guns just simply because you fucking
You're
ran a red
not
light.
in the situation that we're in, bro. I'm
Listen
in St. Louis, Missouri.
to
Hold
me,
on.
Jamal.
I'm in St. Louis.
Listen. They're not going to just simply pull their weapons out because somebody ran a fucking red stop sign.
Are you serious?
Listen. Shut your fucking mouth and listen, bro.
Last week.
Okay? I'll make it to where you can't interrupt me. Okay, they're not just going to simply pull their weapons out because you run a red light. What they do is they run your tag number and they find out what issues has come up, what red flags are there, what criminal past does the registered owner of that vehicle have. They are receiving a bunch of information before they even get out of their vehicles. So you might want to ask yourself what criminal past that you have, what red flags you may have on your license plate. Do you pose a danger to police? Have you ever been considered armed and dangerous? Have you ever been convicted of a violent crime? You know, do you have a past of fighting with police officers? They're gaining all this information simply by running your license plate, bro.
Sir,
Trouble.
let me interject that.
A red light.
Let me interject that. Sir, what city you live in?
I live in a predominantly white city that pulls over black people. Never seen them pull a weapon out on a black person in my community. Never.
What city do you live in? And ask you all that. I said, what city?
City I fucking live in, bro.
Huh?
Like I said, I live in a small community. Why would I tell you what city I live in?
Okay, well, let me tell you where I live in. I live in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the most dangerous places, one of the most dangerous states. But go ahead.
And the problem is this: I've been drawn on before, and I've done nothing wrong.
What's your criminal background, brother?
I have no criminal background, sir.
What about the person that your vehicle's registered to?
The vehicle is my mother's car. My cars are registered. I have no criminal background, sir.
I'm sorry, I gotta call bullshit on your story, dude. They're not just gonna pull the weapons out for no reason.
You ain't living in my area, bro. And until you live in my area and know
do you
exactly
live in
what
a
you're
bad
talking
area?
about, I don't care
Do you
how much
live
of
in
a
a
mod you
do
are.
you live in a high
You have
crime
no
rate area?
understanding about all that. You talking about stuff. You have no idea what you're
Okay.
talking
Do you
about.
live in a high crime rate area?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Were you
Okay,
traveling
well, there you
through a
go.
high crime rate area? Maybe that
Say it
has
again. I'm
something
sorry.
to do with it. I said, were you traveling through a high crime rate area? Maybe that could have something to do with it.
No, I was traveling in a predominantly white area.
I call bullshit on your story, bro. Sorry.
You ain't got to call bullshit, bro. I know.
You said that you're from St. Louis?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
And the place I was going, and the place I was going to
hold
was
on.
Chesterfield area.
Hold on. There's one problem right there because you just said that you lived in St. Louis, but
Okay.
the area you were in was not a high crime area. I'm sorry, sir. You just debunked yourself
I
because
didn't
St.
debunk
Louis
anything,
is
sir.
one. Yes, St. Louis is one of the highest crime areas in the United States.
Yeah, but it just depends on where he was at, Alvin. Brutal. It just depends on where he was at in that area. But I'm sorry, I don't believe
calling bullshit on his story.
I don't.
Until you bring your monkey ass in my area and know what you're talking about, you don't know shit.
Colin.
Well,
let me just talk you a name, sir. So
I don't give a fuck. You don't know shit about where I come from. So don't ever fucking tell me what the hell I don't know.
You are lying.
Sir, I know quite a bit about St. Louis because I have family all over the country, you ignorant fuck. It's too early to deal with ignorance.
Now, honestly, I can say that I used to live in Euless, Texas, and I got pulled over. The reason why I was pulled over was because they said that I turned around and I tried to cover something, which I did. I covered my newborn child. Had a 1969 Ford four-door LTD, so we all know what that looks like, right?
Yep.
So,
So,
they pulled me over for that, and then they tried to say that I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and they go, "Well, where are you coming from?" And I'm like, "I'm coming from my house." Well, the apartment complex that I lived in was a known drug haven, which I didn't know that because I'm not from Euless, Texas. I just moved there from Virginia. So the thing is, I can see something of that nature happening, easily. But even then, they didn't draw the gun weapons on me back then. But it was also a different time.
hey, trucker, 69, did that thing even have seatbelts?
Yeah, it had lap belts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I like old cars. I like Mopar. Now, what I drive currently is neither one of those things because I just want to.
I was going to say, trucker, that's not what you're driving.
No, but I do. I love old cars. I had a.
Yeah, I just left. I just spent the weekend up in the St. Louis, Missouri area. I watched multiple people get pulled over. Actually, because I made a comment to my daughter about it. I'm like, man, their cops are pulling everybody over. But out of all those stops that I watched, I didn't see one person get a gun drawn on them. It's kind of interesting.
Well, St. Louis. St. Louis is very, very high crime rate. It's like in the top.
It might be very, very high crime rate, but that does not mean a cop's going to pull their gun on you just because they pull you over. And if he had that happen,
I don't think it matters.
And if you had that happen to him, that's what they call an anecdotal experience, and it really doesn't mean anything.
This is true.
Okay, I want to move to Belladonna or Belladonna. She was trying to say something. She's one of the new guests. What's up, Bella? What was you trying to say?
No, I was just saying, it to me, it didn't matter. Okay, yeah, it was an excessive amount of cops. Yeah, okay, they drew their firearms. You complied, you were fine, obviously, because you're sitting there talking on TikTok. So, I'm sorry. You're gonna have
you ever had
some.
a gun drawn on you, miss?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever had a gun drawn on you?
Yes.
It's quite the experience.
Yes, it is.
That's all he was saying.
I've had them drawn on me before.
But that's all he was saying, really, that it happened.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand why, it was he was making this big thing that
It's scary. It's
scary. Race.
Well,
it shouldn't happen.
It wasn't the fact that it wasn't the fact that he said that it happened. It was the fact of how he said it happened. He simply ran a red light and then got pulled over, and then all of a sudden the cops are drawing their weapons. And he has no criminal history. The person that was registered to the vehicle has no criminal history. And I'm sorry, I don't see it. I mean, there's some police officers out there that do go overboard. I do know that for a fact, but I don't simply see somebody with not a criminal past, not run-ins with law enforcement or anything else like that, getting guns drawn on them just for no reason. I'm sorry, I call bullshit on a story, and I'll always call bullshit on that.
Come to New Haven, Connecticut. Honestly, it happens.
No, I can say right now that whenever the last time I was pulled over for going a little faster than what the speed limit is, my CCL is attached to my driver's license, so they already know that I'm concealed carry, and they know there's a weapon in the car. So they do have their hands on their weapon, for their own safety. I understand that. I mean, it's no big deal to me because I don't give a shit. Do it.
Right. I ain't never worried when it happens because I'm not doing nothing wrong. But
Exactly.
it's still a scary thing for you to have guns drawn on you, like knowing that like they could take you at any time. You could have an itch, and they think you're reaching, and now you're dead.
Well, I mean, ultimately their goal is to go home at the end of the night, man. I mean, if you've got an itch and you're wanting to scratch back behind your back, or the common places people carry weapons, bro, then put yourself in their positions, man. All the harm and shit that comes to them.
I understand they're I don't want to say fear, but they're what they're doing. I do get that. Like, I get why they do what they do, but maybe they should be trained a little bit differently to not.
Then who's to say if you train the officers differently that it won't backfire and it won't cause more of our officers to be lying in the streets because they're trained to not take they're trained to take inaction first in order to coddle the people's feelings, man. Like what Bella said, if you have a weapon drawn on you and you follow all the commands and you show that you're not a threat, 99.99% of the time you're going to walk away from it.
Fair enough.
By simply following commands, man. And following, I mean, what's the directions? I mean, we've seen it come out, especially around, all the protests and stuff like that. What's the instructions that they tell you to do whenever police pull you over? What's one of the first things that you should do?
I guess on the wheel, right?
Place both hands on the steering wheel, roll down your window, follow the commands, place both hands on the steering wheel. Don't be reaching for nothing. Only reach for something if the fucking police officer license or registration. Well, my wallet's in my back pocket. I'm going to reach for my wallet. Put your hand up, put it in your back pocket. My registration's in the glove box. Open your glove box up. It'd probably help if you rolled your passenger side window down. That way the officer on the other side of the vehicle can see that you don't have a weapon in there. And use common sense when you get pulled over, man. I mean, a lot of these people will approach police officers with disrespect and then expect everything to go good. And it's not like that, man. I lived a criminal life. I know exactly what a criminal life leads to and and it doesn't take long for these cops to know you. Like I said, they can pull up all your information by running your tag, running your license, your interactions with you, stuff like that. I mean, they're not just after everybody. Trust me, the last thing that they want to do is fucking unnecessarily take somebody's life. That's the police officers didn't wake up that morning and say, I'm gonna unalive me a black man today. They don't do that, man. It's based on cause and effect. You know, if you follow the commands, you follow the directions, you do use common sense, and are a positive member of society, then you won't have no issues. It's however, you know, these issues, these big issues that are coming up is people that these cops have had interactions with several times. You know, their rap sheets that they can tell by your license plate number are very, very long. And yes, there's going to be a certain amount of precaution. That's why whenever people say that places are over policed, you know, stop the over policing of our neighborhoods and stuff like that. It's not that they're over policed, it's that they're putting the amount of police officers that they need in that area to lower the crime in that area, because it's high crime areas. You will never see a over policed area not have high crime.
Exactly, Trouble. And what they're failing to talk about is the thousands of videos we have seen where police officers actually de-escalated so many situations. It makes your brain hurt how many times they have to de-escalate situations, and they don't. Sometimes they don't use enough force. Regarding the guy that had the guns pulled on him or whatever, he can file a civil rights violation if his civil rights were violated. There are literally thousands of civil rights attorneys all over the country that would take a case like that. As far as, you know, they need more social workers to go into these situations, especially with child abuse and things like that. They actually do. They most Department of Children and Families have what they call CPIs. They're child protective investigators that can accompany police in those situations. So we do already have that. They usually are social workers. But if you have, you know, someone jacked up on fentanyl, you can't say, now calm down, sweetie. Let's
I
get
know,
this
man.
under. I mean, it's kind of
I
ridiculous.
thought they did calm right the fuck down when they took fentanyl.
Yeah, they're already calm.
And fentanyl is absolutely lethal. Absolutely lethal.
I know that
I
story.
had friends
I just
growing
saw
up sucking on fentanyl lollipops, so legit people
It's the
sucking on
highest
fentanyl
cause of
lollipops.
death in 18 to 40 now. I think they
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I had friends growing up that were literally sucking on lollipops, fentanyl lollipops.
That couldn't have been fentanyl, sir.
When-
I'm sorry. I'm a
Look at
nurse, and I think I
He
know a
was
little bit more about this.
he's probably thinking they were
It's-
morphine or
look-
they were the
Look it up.
No,
Please
I
look
don't.
it up.
Can you provide your source? Because I don't believe that they were fentanyl lollipops.
How old are you, Miss?
damage.
What
I'll
does that
stop
have
you
to
right
do with
there.
anything?
She's a CCRN.
I'm
She's
just
a
asking how
critical
old she
care.
is.
She's a critical care
What does
nurse.
that have to do with my knowledge base?
Because like this was in the 90s. They don't do that shit no more.
Okay,
Fentanyl
well,
wasn't even out in the
I'm old.
90s, dude.
Yes, it
I
was.
was a nurse in the 90s, so thank you.
This was like 90s, early 2000s.
That wasn't
And besides that,
fentanyl, sir.
fentanyl wasn't a problem in the 90s.
You're right. It wasn't a problem. I'm not saying it was a problem.
No, it wasn't fentanyl.
It's a problem now.
Straight fentanyl
Because of that
lollipop,
shit.
they would keel over. I'm telling you the truth.
All right.
She's
I mean,
an RN.
I'm not going to argue with you. You are a nurse, and I'm not going to take that away from you. I'm just letting you know my experience.
We had a baby in Florida who accidentally inhaled a tiny bit and died.
And drop dead. I know shit's lethal. It's crazy. Some of this. What I'm saying is, some people could just handle it better than others. Really.
So let me ask you this: is the lethality of this particular drug, because I have no experience with this, is it with what they cut it with, or is it the
No,
drug
it's just that
itself?
lethal. It's just that strong.
Yeah,
They don't have to cut it. They're using that to cut other drugs.
Fentanyl is what we use sometimes for anesthesia. And you just give tiny little doses of it. Sometimes they used to give it for pain. They don't really give it for
Isn't
pain.
it like micrograms that they use?
Sorry, what?
Isn't it like microgram like levels of dosage that they use? That's like super low.
Right. So for someone to just sit there and suck on a lollipop of it, it's not gonna.
I'm telling you,
Well, when you
it's
consider,
crazy.
when you
What
consider
I'm
that-
saying
when you
earlier.
consider that just 2 milligrams, when you consider that just 2 milligrams of fentanyl, which is equal to about 10 to 15 grains of table salt, is considered a lethal dose, I highly doubt that somebody's sucking on a 100% pure
No,
fentanyl.
not pure. It's not like they were medical things. Like they used to give them to
Now
cancer
the
patients.
truth comes out.
They used to give them to cancer patients. They're little lollipops.
Gotcha. No, you were acting like it was 100% fentanyl. Now,
Yeah.
now.
Oh no,
It was mixed with something else.
There's the proof.
Maybe you misinterpreted what I was saying. But I never.
No, maybe you need to be more clear in your statements. How about that?
The point is,
Because I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. in this
it's the
panel
leading cause
I'm
of
not
death.
even going to argue that. Maybe I could have been more clear.
Hold on. Host is speaking. Host is speaking.
No, I think Sass was speaking. Sass,
Yeah, no.
you've been up for a while and you haven't talked. Go ahead.
No, he made it sound like it was the drug.
Thank you.
Hold up. Let me see.
So
I apologize if I was misleading.
it's
What-
extremely lethal. They're actually lacing marijuana with it now. So please tell your youth to be very, very careful. It's the leading cause of death in age 18 to like 40 now. They increased the age. It used to be like 35. So it's very, very dangerous. But what my point was, we are not, our police are walking into horrible, horrible situations, and they're probably going to get it wrong occasionally. There are civil rights attorneys that are lined up to take those types of cases, but to keep putting everything on the police and that they're not doing enough, we need to go watch all the thousands and thousands of videos where they have literally de-escalated a situation and saved lives. So that was all the point I wanted to make.
And people in the
I don't know if anybody can see my screen, but if
Hang
you
on
can
just
see
a
my
second, damn it.
screen, just so you'll know I wasn't lying.
Hold on.
No, we can't see
do
your
that.
screen. Your screen. People in the chat, we're not talking about Donald
There you
Trump.
go.
I know you love Donald Trump so fucking much. We're talking about different topics. Come on, try to keep up with the fucking topics that people are talking about, and actually be a positive member to the comment section and actually hit on the topics we're talking about. Fucking Donald Trump doesn't have anything to do with this. Get Trump out your mouth. I know that you love him being all balls deep up in your mouth, but try to get him out of your mouth. At least pull back a couple inches. It might help.
Trouble, we're throwing the AI off this morning by not talking about him.
That's the only reason I'm even here is because I was tired of Trump lives.
But them comments down there need to get the likes up.
For or against, I was just tired of hearing them.
I mean, when you're in the political sphere, you're going to hear a lot of it. But I agree with you. There are the lives that I have the most fun in are the ones that aren't political, and we're talking about a multitude of things, whether it be movies, cartoons,
My
drugs,
lives
whatever.
have to be political or current topics. I don't talk about house plants and car insurance and stuff like that. So as long as it's current topics, we're good.
But I just saved the tenant by switching to Geico.
No. Give you a look.
That look.
Now, guys, listen. Okay, we want to blame all of our problems on the next person. We want to blame all of our problems on the federal government and the state and the police department and every fucking thing else. When ultimately we need to be holding ourselves accountable for the fucking bullshit that we do in our lives. We need to start holding the people in the community accountable for what they're doing. If you see something wrong, step up and fucking say something about it. Until we adjust our characters and our hearts and the way we live our lives as a society, things aren't never going to get any better. We can sit here, we can blame the police all we want to, we can blame the president all we want to, we can blame the government, the state all we want to, but until we change as a society, these organizations and these places are not going to stop feeding the flames. That's all the federal government does is feed the flames. That's all the states do is feed the fucking flames. That's all they do. Until we can change the society, we're never going to fucking make it. We're never going to make it as far as United States getting back to the great country it once was. Like I always say, we're going down the fucking shitter pipe. We're swirling around the fucking toilet, about to go down the fucking pipe. And everybody wants to blame the things that aren't responsible for it, when in turn, we as a civilized population, we are responsible for a lot of this shit that goes on. You know, it's easy to get up here and talk about racism and stuff like that, but it's hard for these people to go in their own communities and say, hey, we need to cut this shit out and be productive members of society. And that no matter white or black, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, there's problems problems across both sides of the aisles, and until we start changing what's in our hearts and realizing that people may speak up about things, it doesn't make them racist. You know, that's the biggest thing that I hear is racism. Based on what facts you point out, it's always racist, no matter what. How about we fucking start changing the communities in which we live in, like that old boy from St. Louis? How about going in the St. Louis communities, which is we already know they're deadly and dangerous? Start changing people one by one, and then you'll find out the federal government and the states will fall in line with we the people.
Well, the thing is until we get voting in our local elections like we do in the presidential election, nothing's going to change. And the reason why I say that is your local elections have more direct effect on you and your family than the federal government does.
Sure does.
And so until we can get that done, never mind if it's Trump or Biden, it's who's running for the superintendent of your school, who's running for the county mayor or commissioner, or whatever they fucking call them, who's running for these positions. Do you agree with their policies? If not, you fucking vote them out. We need to start paying attention to our local elections. You don't fix a house from the top bottom, you fix it from the foundation up.
Good point indeed. I'm going to drop down, you guys. Just wanted to say good morning.
Good morning, Tori.
Good morning.
Was that you, Trucker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is very true that in order to rebuild the house, you've got to go from the ground floor up. But in order to strip it down before it can be rebuilt, you got to start from the top down. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, I agree with you on the local level, 1,000%. You've got to know what's going on within your own community, because you can start something within your community and then it starts spreading and it goes out from the community into the entire town, then from the town into the county, into the state. And that's how you get it rolling. So yes, you got to go from the bottom up to rebuild, but in order to start rebuilding, you got to go top down.
Have you all listened to the song "Racism" by Adam Calhoun?
I didn't know he put a new song out.
Yeah.
It's not new. It's not new. It's been out for I would guesstimate about a year. If you haven't listened to the song "Racism" by Adam Calhoun, I think that you need to really go listen to that song. Listen to the lyrics very, very, very closely, because I don't think I know one person that could have said it better.
Katie, we have term limits for Congress and the Senate. It's called voting, right? Now, if you want to go with that, I would say put an age limit on that. If they expect us to retire at 65 or 70, that's when they fucking retire. But we already have term limits. It's called voting.
These old people making rules for our kids is just not cool. It's just not good.
Oh, I agree with you 1,000%. They've already lost, what ties that they already had to the community. The Congress is what is supposed to be close to us, which is why we vote every 2 years for Congress, right? For members of House. And we've had people in there, let's take Dianne Feinstein at 83 years old. I never in my life want to see another person in Congress or Senate that will be dragged away from their house, that spend time with their loved ones, to go vote on a fucking bill on Capitol Hill. She should have been at home with her loved ones, not being drugged up to Capitol Hill to vote on a damn bill.
Well,
I don't ever want to see that again.
That was insane. For what? For what?
I mean,
An agenda.
I mean, she was voted in by the people that she's representing.
Right. We know this, but it's just because we're not getting young candidates.
Because people don't educate themselves on who is running and everything. They just see a name. Oh, that's who I voted for last time. Click.
Yep.
They don't.
Yeah, both parties are guilty of that.
We don't necessarily need term limits, but definitely an age limit. I don't want to see anybody. Fucking Mitch McConnell needs to get the hell out. Okay, so I'm not talking about just the Democratic side. I'm literally, these people are up there. They don't what they're remembering what the United States was during their time and not taking into consideration how we've changed as a nation or as a society, and they're remembering what the fuck of old, right? I mean, you're sitting there saying Trump was racist, right? Because of what he said in the Central Park Five in 1989, but you're also not taking the fact that what Joe Biden said in 1974 about segregation.
This guy down here in the comments is saying no one over 80. Dude, that means Trump's still in the house. Yeah. 124.
No, I think I
I
still
agree with you
think
on the 65 thing. You know, they're
Stick on
telling
65.
me, hey, you have to retire at 65. Well, now I think they've upped it to 67, but you have to retire at this age. Okay, so do you. Get out.
that's what I'm saying.
Brutal. I looked at it the other day. I think it was yesterday. He said that 65 and older, you can retire at because you can't draw medical unless you're Social Security, correct?
Yeah.
So yeah,
FRA, which is full retirement age, is 66 years and 2 months in the United States.
I kind of like that my elders are trying to uphold my conservative views because most young people don't have the same views as say my elders. I do agree that there should be some medical things to see if you can do the job. Walking's probably not one of them, but I mean, if you have a sound mind and you're of quick wit, you can do the job. I don't understand why we wouldn't want them to do that.
Look at Roosevelt. He didn't walk. Oh, wait. Too soon?
Do what?
I said, look at Roosevelt. He didn't walk.
Oh, man.
That's bad.
I didn't even hear that. Oh,
That's still bad.
You got me and Tim together. It's going to be one of those days.
Let me go put fucking $1,000 in my fuel tanks.
I'll be right back.
I'm sorry about that, trucker. That's a.
They've just about killed the owner operator. They can't afford it.
Sounds like it.
Well, when you have one thing that people don't know is some places like in the oil field and stuff, when they have contracts with companies just to lease out their truck, and then like they people lease them the trailer or whatever back. Like, man, the fuel, they get stuck in a certain price and they can't get out of the contract even when the fuel surcharge goes up to fucking $1 million.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're stuck in like a 5-year contract of hauling production water, and then they're wondering why they can't get no fucking trucks.
Like, I'll give you an example. Last year alone, just last year, I spent $100,000 in fuel.
Damn.
Yeah, I totally bet you did.
They're definitely killing the independent contractor.
Yeah.
And then right now, like take for example today, right? I come in. I'm in Florida right now. I had to go down to Vero Beach, and now my reload is in Lakeland, Florida. That goes back to OKC. It only pays $1,500.
Hey, trucker, do me a favor, just
$500 on that.
Do me a favor just for yourself. Figure if you can pull up your mileage as far as like what your trip would be. And then now it's you can write off 65 cents a mile. I don't know if that would be better than doing fuel, like as far as receipts for yourself. And then, because if you do the math all the way around, you might be saving more money for a write off. You just gotta log it.
Yeah, I've done that 1 year. When did I do that? I did that in 2017, and my write-offs, my deductions are bigger than what my mileage would be. So that's how I'm doing it right now.
Trucker, in 2017, matter of fact, my brother, he had been driving for Tyson for over 30. He was at 31 years. In 2017, he decided to retire from Tyson, bought his own truck, and was just going to do a little bit of owner operator. He didn't want to stay on the road constant like he was with Tyson. And he wasn't able to last 2.5 years because of the whole C-19 thing, fuel and everything, and he was just like, man, screw this, I'm going back to Tyson. And he couldn't do it because of fuel costs and everything else. I don't know
Yeah,
how an owner operator does it today.
trust me, it's not easy. Right now, I'm in. Where the hell am I? Hold on. I'll tell you where the hell I am in Fort Pierce, Florida, currently at the Loves, and it is $3.75 a gallon
For fuel.
for fuel. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually cheap.
Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
cheaper than what I
bad.
was. That was cheaper than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That ain't too bad, but it
I'm
still
in,
needs to be
I'm in
less.
Connecticut. Shit, we're over $4 for diesel.
Well, the thing is under Trump, we were paying a hell of a lot less than that, and then
Ray, I guarantee you, your diesel is not 265. Your fuel will
Obama,
be,
yeah, fuel would be gas would be 265,
and not diesel.
but not diesel. But even under Obama, I had lower gas prices than this.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened with diesel. Like diesel, like always was cheaper for the longest time when I was growing up. Diesel was always like half the price.
Because diesel was,
Diesel's
the way they
cheaper to
process it and
refine.
everything, diesel
That's my point.
is the
It didn't make
byproduct. So
sense.
you would think it would be cheaper, but because of supply and demand, now diesel is more expensive because we got more and more trucks on the road because we got more and more product on the road.
Well, no, that's not when it started going up. When it started going up was the probably mid 90s when diesel automobiles started to come in and started making them in the rage because gas prices were too high. Then all of a sudden they went, oh, we can make money on this too, so here's what we're going to do. Because if you remember, gasoline used to be 99 cents and then went up to $1.10 and everybody was bitching. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
fuel, diesel was 99 cents up until 2000. No. Yeah.
'Cause in 1992 it was $1.25 a gallon, because that's what I was paying. That's what I was paying when I got my license.
I started my driving career in '99, and I was still paying 99 cents for diesel up until 2001.
Yeah, diesel probably different, but I was talking about gas. Sorry.
Yeah, diesel in the Northeast, in Connecticut, was always like a lot less than gas.
Well, they also have red fuel and then have highway fuel, and highway fuel they didn't even come out with that until like the early 90s and shit. The green
Yeah.